Good evening and welcome to the Raw Feed. I'm Gary Franchi, and what you're about to witness isn't just another news show. This is day 9 of what may be the most extraordinary presidential administration in American history. And unlike the mainstream media, we're going to tell you exactly what's happening, why it matters, and what it means for you. But first, let me speak directly to you, our viewers streaming live across YouTube, Rumble, and X. You're the reason we're here. You're the reason we can continue bringing you the truth the others won't touch. And here's something the algorithms don't want you to know. You can bypass their censorship right now by sharing this stream via text message to everyone you know who needs to hear the truth. Confirm you've done so by simply typing 1 in the chat room. Now, if you're watching on YouTube, you're part of an audience of millions worldwide. But let me tell you something. You need to follow us on Rumble and X as well, because what we're about to discuss tonight, well, let's just say some platforms are more friendly to the truth than others. And speaking of truth, we've got an incredible show lined up. We're talking about Trump's global power moves that have Denmark in absolute panic mode. We'll cover the massive ICE raids that are finally bringing law and order back to our streets, and you'll meet the stunning new 27-year-old press secretary who's already destroying the mainstream media narratives. We're exposing the real truth behind those mysterious drones that had New Jersey residents terrified, and waiting to hear about Trump's latest executive orders. They're so outrageous, so iconic, the left doesn't even know how to process them. But here's what makes the Raw Feed different. We want to hear from you. Between segments, we'll be featuring your super chats and your Rumble rants right here on screen for the world to see. Your voice matters, your opinions count, and yes, super chats get priority treatment. Why? Because this show runs on your support. And speaking of support, let me be completely transparent with you. We've launched our YouTube channel memberships with exclusive perks at every level. When you join, you'll get special acknowledgement in the live chat, exclusive access to the Next News Network team. But that's not all. We've got our merch shop at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com, where you can get your hands on our limited edition MAGA Avengers Next News swag. Show the world where you get your real news from. Now, I need to be serious for a moment. This show, this platform, this truth-telling operation doesn't run on air. We do need your support to keep going. In the description below, you will find links to donate. Every dollar helps us continue our mission to bring you the news they don't want you to hear. So get ready, because over the next few hours, we're going to take you inside Trump's Day 9, show you exactly what's happening at our border, introduce you to the press secretary who's making history, expose the drone deception, and reveal executive orders that will leave you speechless. So stay with us. Keep those super chats and Rumble rants coming. And remember, if you want to support the show while getting something amazing in return, head to shop.nextnewsnetwork.com for your exclusive MAGA Avengers gear. The Raw Feed starts now, and you don't want to miss a single second. And let's welcome you to the show. Who's here? ER, Texas Patriot Mom, Sure You, Pothead Kenny, Heather Reeve, Stephanie Dickel. Everyone's in the house right now. Texas Patriot Mom, Juan, Droney, Shaz Plasman, Keith Berg, and Ice Baby. Doge is saving the federal government approximately $1 billion a day. Yes, they are. We got Sean Stanton, Heather Peterson, Trump Rules You, Glenn Castle. We've got Go One Punk, smash the thumbs up 3 times. We got Stay Positive 126. We've got Back in Black. We've got Stephanie, and we've got Runner 123, Tom, Jess, Mike Sun. We've got Steve Crittenden, Free Palestine is here as well. Second Tech. We've got, who else is in the house? Andrea Sanders and Stephen Alsip and Desert Dog and Darla Pridemore. B.D. Roberge is here. RS is here. The gang is checking in. Remember to sound off from where you're watching from and the device you are on. Let the world know just how big the Next News Network family is. I think you call them Gary's Gorillas. Is that what you guys came up with? SLM. We've got CME Gordy. Orbathon is here. TD Gaming. Derek A. Martin. Mike Sun. Irish Russ. Mike Offit. Shannon Pilgrim. Texas Patriot Mom. Carlos Traveras, Casey Weimer. Oh, Desert Dog, everyone is in the house. Let's get this party started, shall we? Oh, yes, big news is here today. You know, something's happening when European leaders start having public meltdowns. Well, tonight, we're witnessing what might be the most extraordinary display of American power projection since the Cold War. President Trump, just 9 days into his second term, has Denmark, yes, Denmark, in what officials are calling crisis mode. Why? Because he dared suggest something that makes perfect sense. Greenland should be American territory, but it's not just about Greenland. From California's water wars to France's military threats, what's unfolding right now reveals a fundamental truth about global power the mainstream media doesn't want you to understand. And there's a new narrative developing on Capitol Hill. Yes, the halls of power are echoing with terror with Trump's return. And as global power shifts dramatically under Trump's leadership, one asset stands stronger than ever. I'm talking about gold. While Denmark panics over Greenland and European allies scramble to respond, smart investors are following the lead of world powers. China, Russia, and other nations are stockpiling gold at unprecedented rates, preparing for major geopolitical changes. Why? Because gold transcends political tensions and remains stable through global turmoil. Just as Trump is reshaping world order, you need to reshape your portfolio. Noble Gold Investments can help protect your wealth as these historic changes unfold. Visit nextnewsgold.com. It's linked down below, and secure your financial future with gold. That's nextnewsgold.com. Or you can call that number on the screen, 877-646-5347. Okay, before we get to the international meltdown, there is some huge news that just dropped moments ago. President Trump is now offering 2 million federal workers a buyout to quit. They're calling it a fork in the road. The Trump administration is offering every federal worker an 8-month severance package to resign, expecting 5 to 10% to take the deal, saving $100 billion. White House Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt says taxpayers deserve employees who actually show up to work. Resignation window closes February 6th. Workers will receive an email with a draft resignation letter. All they need to do is reply with one word: resign. That's pretty simple. Just reply with one word: resign. This is apparently a Doge-inspired plan. Speaking of Doge, yes, 30 Tesla Cybertrucks were vandalized. Oh, yeah, the left just can't handle it. Look at all those Cybertrucks with F. Elon spray painted on the front, on the hood, on the side of these vehicles. Yeah, the left just can't handle this new administration and the beauty that it's bringing to America. They are in full trigger mode. And, okay, so we've got a little bit more. Now, they say that it does not apply to all federal workers except from the below link, except military personnel, U.S. postal workers, roles related to immigration enforcement and national security. Okay, those are critical roles, so all the other dead weight can just sign off. President Trump to federal employees. Type the word resign in the subject line, email, and hit send. Here it is. Below is the email that was sent to federal employees on January 28, 2025, presenting a deferred resignation offer. If you do not respond to that email and wish to accept the deferred resignation, you may do so by following these steps. Send an email to your government account, from your government account. Only an email from your Gov or Mill account will be accepted. Type the word resign in the subject line and hit send. That's it. It's that easy to get rid of government waste. President Trump is on the case. Oh, this is a beautiful thing happening right now. And speaking of pushing back, the Trump White House has now rolled out a new social media account that aims to hold fake news accountable. I've been tracking this all day, and it is actually quite awesome. It is the White House Rapid Response X account. Lots of good stuff there, and I will be there every single day. Trump offering a buyout, all 2 million federal workers to resign, according to NBC. Each worker, a severance package, 8 months of pay and benefits, 5 to 10 are expected. $100 billion will be saved. And speaking of saving, Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth has stripped General Mark Milley's security detail and security clearance. Thank God, it's about time. Looks like he may also be getting demoted, and this is what you get for committing treason against our nation. So we've got some more stuff to get to. I mean, speaking of appointments and resignations, Sean Duffy is now the 20th Secretary of Transportation. Congratulations. You can see this is from the Rapid Response 47X account. Now, this is the narrative that's being pushed by the left currently. We've got Alina Habba pushing back. We've got the White House pushing back. We've got Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller pushing back on the lies. So I'm going to play some of these clips for you. And I mean, this is the narrative. Mark Warner, they're saying federal funding is going to destroy Medicare and Medicaid and XYZ. Listen.
I've never seen anything this broad, something that will spread more chaos, something that is more disconnected from real people's lives. I hear all over Virginia, we've worked for years on trying to bring federal monies, whether they appear as roads, whether they appear for your local schools. I've supported our cops and our firefighters to get additional equipment. All that's put in jeopardy. We've already heard from, battered women's shelters who are saying they can't operate if they don't have their federal funds. We've heard from road builders who say they got to lay off their workers. We've heard from universities who said, we may not be able to continue to do research. You want to do a review for efficiency? Yeah, have at it. But this is just going to cause chaos. And it does nothing to lower the price of groceries. Donald Trump got hired because he was going to bring inflation down.
You see what he's doing there? He's redirecting, saying Trump isn't doing, that this doesn't affect this, but they're not related. Okay? He is deceiving his constituency right here. Mark Warner. Anyway, you get the point. But Alina Habba, she's pushing back. She told Chuck Schumer, your opinion of the law doesn't apply here.
Our Attorney General... a couple things first, Chuck. Your Attorney General is not the Attorney General. We have an Attorney General. That will be Pam Bondi. And what your opinion is on what the law is doesn't really matter. It's what the White House counsel says and what our Attorney General of the United States says. What we have done...
Okay, let's go to the White... Okay, here's Stephen Miller right now saying President Trump's executive order that halts federal grants and loans does not affect any federal program that Americans rely on, full stop. This is from C-SPAN.
Is a general. Before we get started, I'm only going to do 5 minutes because we had a whole press briefing with Caroline, and I don't want to.
Stephen, can you just give us a sense? How long is this temporary pause on federal funding? How long is this pause going to last?
Well, the terms of the executive order is 90 days, but it's important to understand that it's a review process to say that there's for discretionary spending that's not directed by Congress or required by law. So this would be, for example, something like a contract to a non-governmental organization to teach, say, critical race theory, that there has to be a politically appointed individual in the departments or agencies who simply reviews and approves the expenditure so that we have control, democratic control over the operations of government. This doesn't affect any federal programs that Americans rely on, full stop.
It's not going to have any impact on any Americans and what they rely on?
Any program, like a benefit program that Americans rely on.
Like Meals on Wheels?
Correct. There's no, the OMB guidance document, which I think you're referring to, because the executive order was issued a week ago, it just gives clarity on how to implement the original executive order, which doesn't cover any entitlement or public benefit spending at all. And that's clear, by the way, if you read, as I'm sure you have, the OMB guidance document.
Can you ask you about El Salvador? So we know that the president spoke to President Bukele next week. Secretary Rubio will be in El Salvador.
Okay, so we've got that. And let's go to the press secretary today in her first press conference. This is what she had to say about spending across the
media report. This is not a blanket pause on federal assistance and grant programs from the Trump administration. Individual assistance, that includes, I'm not naming everything that's included, but just to give you a few examples, Social Security benefits, Medicare benefits, food stamps, welfare benefits, assistance that is going directly to individuals will not be impacted by this pause. And I want to make that very clear to any Americans who are watching at home who may be a little bit confused about some of the media reporting. This administration, if you are receiving individual assistance from the federal government, you will still continue to receive that. However, it is the responsibility of this president and this administration to be good stewards of taxpayer dollars. That is something that President Trump campaigned on. That's why he has launched DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency, who is working alongside OMB. And that's why OMB sent out this memo last night, because the president signed an executive order directing OMB to do just this. And the reason for this is to ensure that every penny that is going out the door is not conflicting with the executive orders and actions that this president has taken. So what does this pause mean? It means no more funding for illegal DEI programs. It means no more funding for the Green New scam that has cost American taxpayers tens of billions of dollars. It means no more funding for transgenderism and wokeness across our federal bureaucracy and agencies. No more funding for Green New Deal social engineering policies. Again, people who are receiving individual assistance, you will continue to receive that. And President Trump is looking out for you by issuing this pause because he is being good steward of your taxpayer dollars.
But the left would have you think otherwise. They're pushing a narrative right now that President Trump is canceling grandma's Medicare. Oh, no, it's not true. It is not true at all. But the left would have you believe that. Here's the OMB explaining that mandatory programs like Medicaid and SNAP will continue without pause. It says it right here. Is this a freeze on benefits to Americans like SNAP or student loans? No. Any program that provides direct benefits to Americans is explicitly excluded from the pause and exempt from the review process. So don't believe anything from the lying media. Yes, here's Chuck Schumer. Funding for law enforcement is now in danger thanks to Donald Trump. That is a bold-faced lie. Is this a freeze on benefits? It is not at all. None of it is. But whatever Mark Warner wants to tell you, it is a complete lie. And speaking of what is happening and lies from Panama. Yes, they are freaking out. Panama is with great speed, President Trump put this out on Truth Social, attempting to take down 64% of signs which are written in Chinese. Why would Panama have signs that were written in Chinese? They're all over the zone because China controls the Panama Canal. Panama is not going to get away with this. And speaking of the DOGE, it was established to maximize government productivity and ensure the best use of taxpayer funds. In the first 80 hours, approximately $420 million of the current impending contracts have been canceled. 2 leases have also been canceled. Also, the weaponization of government against its citizens has ended. Censorship by government against its citizen ended. President Trump renamed the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, restored the name of Mount McKinley to America's highest peak. President Trump's first week back in office, most significant in modern history, correcting the course after 4 years of disaster. In just 1 week, President Trump has done more to usher in the golden age of America than most presidents do over their first term. New York Post, Trump is already hitting the ground running as his first 100 days in office are off to a historic start. Okay, now we've got this. This is from Denmark, or Greenland's prime minister signaled that he's open to talks with Trump while pushing for independence from Denmark. Listen to what he says here.
Building toward, we don't want to be Danes or Americans. We want to be Greenlanders. And of course, it's the Greenlandic people who decide their future. I think there's a common understanding of that. And building towards that is also something everyone should respect. And of course, many things are happening globally. It's a changing world. 3 or 4 years ago, we likely didn't expect to be here.
And the issues we have today weren't relevant. Have you been in contact with Donald Trump, the upcoming American president?
No, but we're ready to talk. Together, I think we're both ready to increase dialogue and reach out, and thus also talk about the things that unite us in the world we live in. We don't want to be dangerous.
So Denmark is freaking out. I do have only one stipulation. If we are to secure Denmark, I want to make sure that Miss Universe, if we are able to secure Greenland, that we also acquire Miss Universe from Denmark. Yeah, this is a deal breaker for me. Yeah, Miss Denmark 2024 needs to be part of the package deal. Now, Chanel Rion did the math. She said if we gave every Greenlander $1 million, that would cost us $57 billion total. That's less than a third of what we have given in Ukraine. Let's listen in to what she had to say on the matter.
It would cost $57 billion. That's about a third of what we've spent on the Ukraine war. For the $175 billion Congress pledged to Ukraine so far, we could have bought Greenland 3 times over. Or how about this? For the money we've sent to Ukraine so far, we could have given 57,000 Greenlanders, every person in Greenland, each $1 million. Given Denmark another $50 billion and poured the remaining $68 billion into Greenland's infrastructure. We're talking about this because Trump, the man in manifest destiny, wants Greenland to join as the 51st state. Trump's desire sparked outrage. But then, all of a sudden, Greenland's prime minister last week stood up and pulled a Thomas Jefferson.
In Greenland, we need to have some growth. We need to have some economic growth and diversify our economy. And of course, we welcome our strong partners, like-minded nations as first. But if they don't invest, there's a lot of companies who also want to invest in this country.
Greenland needs only a 51% vote to leave Denmark. In 2019, a poll indicated that 67% of Greenlanders favored independence from Denmark within the next 2 decades.
Okay. So, if you could tell Trump anything, what would it be?
Buy us.
Buy Greenland?
Buy Greenland.
Why do you want Trump to buy Greenland?
Because we don't want to be colonized by Danish government anymore. We get ripped every year about our minerals from Greenland. We are the richest nation in the world, and we don't get to use it. Denmark's using us too much.
Do you like America?
I love America, but people are too fat over there.
Trump wants to secure Greenland for the United States for defense purposes against China and Russia primarily. Just yesterday, he said this on Truth Social. I am hearing that the people of Greenland are MAGA. My son, Don Jr., and various representatives will be traveling there to visit some of the most magnificent areas and sites. Greenland is an incredible place, and the people will benefit tremendously if and when it becomes part of our nation. We will protect it and cherish it from a very vicious world outside. Make Greenland great again.
Make Greenland great again. That is what's happening right now. We've also got this here. Denmark preparing to defend Greenland from a possible U.S. occupation. The EU supports Denmark in the coming battle against the United States. I really don't think it's going to come to that, but that is from this one account. The Trump effect continues. Other good news, the United States military just entered the great state of California and under emergency powers, turned down the water flowing abundantly from the Pacific Northwest and beyond. The days of putting a fake environmental argument over the people are over. Enjoy the water, California. Here is, did you hear about this? Oh my goodness, I didn't know this. Denmark has just become, this is how ridiculous Denmark is, has just become the first country to force farmers to pay a flatulence tax or a tax on cows farting. This is what the liberal left lunacy will bring you. Watch.
The climate change. Ladies and gentlemen, the clown world continues. Denmark has just become the first country on the planet to force farmers to pay a flatulence tax or a tax on farting. Because cows, sheep, pigs produce a greenhouse gas called methane or CH4, which contributes to climate change, the government in a green tripartite agreement are making the farmers pay 300 kroner or $42 per ton of methane released to reach their environment goals. As for the price of food, it'll probably skyrocket. New Zealand was also considering implementing the law. Join me on X for more updates. Ladies and gentlemen, the clown world continues. Denmark has just...
carnival continues, my friends. Oh, yes. President Donald Trump told reporters also Microsoft is in talks to acquire TikTok and that he would like to see a bidding war over the app. That's not all. Yes, the USA has a lot of winning to do. Donald Trump, this meme was just posted. He's turned the water on to California. God bless President Trump. He knows what to do to keep this country going. But Letitia James, she's back in action. Yep, this just in. AG Letitia James sues the Trump administration after a freeze on federal funding. Remember I told you the fake narrative is coming out? This is not a freeze. This is just a pause for 90 days so they can review everything. But now Letitia James is out. She's suing the government. Man, she should just go back to her hole.
Suing this. Not only does this administration's new policy put people at risk, but it is plainly unconstitutional. The president does not get to decide which laws to enforce and for whom. When Congress dedicates funding for a program, the president cannot pull that funding on a whim. Later today, I am leading and joining with my colleagues, my fellow Democratic attorney generals, in suing this administration to stop this illegal freeze of essential funds for our state. We will not stand for any illegal policy that puts essential services for millions of Americans at risk. And we work tirelessly overnight to ensure that that does not happen. Our lawsuit will seek a court order to immediately stop the enforcement of the OMB policy and to preserve essential funding for Americans.
Yep, it's bluster. It's all bluster. It is not happening. When the right people complain, you know the right moves are being made. Don't you think? Democrats press White House to immediately undo memo freezing federal funding. They are out of their mind. We got this from Rick Scott. In 1 week, Obama had 13 nominees confirmed. Today is day 9 for Trump, and he's only had 5 confirmed. Senate Democrats are still obstructing the process, even delaying nominees everyone agrees on. This isn't due diligence. It's just more games to undermine Trump's America First agenda. President Trump, pro-life agenda in action in just 1 week. 9 major victories for life. Defunding Planned Parenthood overseas. Pardoning pro-life heroes. Declaring life begins at conception, and more. This is huge. Day 9 of the Trump presidency, and democracy hasn't ended yet. Remember they told you that? Democracy's in danger. He's a threat to democracy. Has our nation collapsed yet? The only thing collapsing are the people on the left, like Letitia James and Chuck Schumer. Okay? Oh, here we have, let's see. Trump is right. There is a giant spigot that can send more water to Southern California. It's the Jones Pumping Station, the Trump pump. Right next door is the Gavin pump. What's this guy have to say?
It's called the sea. So you know how all the journalists and the Democrats, when President Trump has been talking about the water situation here in California, and he talks about a giant spigot that you can turn to send more water from the north to the south, and they say, what's he talking about? He doesn't understand. There's no giant spigot. Well, there is actually, and I'm standing right in front of it. There it is, over my shoulder. It's called the C.W. Bill Jones Pumping Station, federally owned. Let's give it a simpler name. That is the Trump pump. And when he was president the first time around, President Trump ordered more water to be pumped from this pumping station, which has 6 giant pumps that lift up water from the Sacramento-San Joaquin Delta and sends it south in the Delta-Mendota Canal. And President Trump ordered more water to be pumped here and sent south. So just up that road where I was at the Trump pump, you come to this. It's the entrance to the Harvey O. Banks Delta Pumping Plant, which is part of the state water project. You can think of this as Gavin's pump. This sends water into the California aqueduct, which is the state-owned part of the system. And guess what happened the last time when President Trump said more water should be sent in the federal system? California said less water should be sent into the California aqueduct through these pumps here. They retaliated by restricting the amount of water. Unbelievable. Why do they do that? Exactly as President Trump's been saying, to protect fish. Well, let's hope this time they have more common sense. And when President Trump orders more water to be sent through the federal Delta-Mendota Canal, the jokers in charge of California don't send less water through the Gavin pump here at the Banks pumping station. So you know how all the journalists and the Democrats...
Oh, yeah. The Gavin pumping station is a joke. Steve Forrest says, so now that Trump is president again, we're closer to doomsday? What a joke. Ignore the fear-mongering from the left. And that will change under Trump. So much winning. It is day 9. President Trump offering a buyout. This is so amazing, of all federal workers. Winning day 9. Reinstating service members discharged under military's COVID vaccination mandate. Restoring America's fighting force. Prioritizing military excellence and readiness. The Iron Dome for America. Baby, America is back, but France is freaking out. France is ready to deploy troops to Greenland and oppose the United States. French foreign minister says relations between the U.S. and Europe are falling apart. French foreign minister Jean-Noël Barrot says that France has discussed with Denmark the possibility of deploying troops to Greenland in response to several threats recently by U.S. President Trump to annex the Danish territory. If Denmark calls for help, France will be there with other European Union countries who have expressed very strong support for Denmark during a recent meeting of the EU foreign ministers, with several considering also deploying troops to Greenland. Oh, yeah? Well, see, it's not about deploying troops to Greenland, all right? President Trump is going to let those people hold a vote, let their voice speak. We're not walking in there with tanks and guns and soldiers to take the land. It's not about that. Those people will have their voice be heard. Trump spoke to reporters on Air Force One last Saturday. He told a CNN journalist maybe a rich guy will buy CNN for cheap, and then goes on to answer a question about Greenland. Listen.
Maybe some rich guy will buy him cheap. But it's just the tone of your question every time. I think Greenland will be worked out with us. I think we're going to have it. And I think the people want to be with us. As you know, there's 55,000 people there. They want to be with us. I don't know really what claim Denmark has to it, but it would be a very unfriendly act if they didn't allow that to happen, because that's for protection of the free world. It's not for us, it's for the free world. Right now you have Russian ships, you have China ships, you have ships from various countries. It's not a good situation. And I believe we'll get that. Yeah, I do believe. I think we'll get other things too that you're talking about that nobody knows. But I think we'll get other things. But I do believe Greenland will get, because it really has to do with freedom of the world, not just freedom of. It has nothing to do with the United States, other than we're the one that can provide the freedom. They can't. I mean, they put 2 dog sleds there 2 weeks ago. They thought that was protection.
Are the other things Canada and Panama?
You know what the people don't like? People don't like the way they've been treated by Denmark. They don't like the way they've been treated by Denmark. And they do like us. Maybe some.
An inside source told me today that there are other European nations who want to join the United States. Think about that. Here we have Chrystia Freeland, who's in the running to lead Trudeau's Liberals in Canada, put together a laughable plan to defeat Trump. Her plan includes starting a trade war with the United States, a coalition with Mexico, Denmark, Panama, and the EU, a moratorium on importing U.S. goods, a ban on American private involvement in Canadian projects, a vague statement about fighting Trump's billionaire buddies, which would include everyone from Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg to Jeff Bezos and literally everybody in Silicon Valley. Yeah, that is the Chrystia Freeland, the liberal side of Canada. Yeah, good luck with that, guys. You guys can piss and moan all you want, but we have the larger economy, and we will prevail. Okay, what else have we got here? We've got Letitia James. We covered that. We got the spigots. We got the lies. We got Denmark. We've got more. Let's see. Oh, yes, of course. We do definitely need to have her join in with the purchase of Greenland. And then U.S. President Donald Trump said that Chinese startup DeepSeek's technology should spur American companies, and said it was good that companies in China come up with a cheaper, faster method of artificial intelligence. I believe these are his remarks in Miami to the Congressional Institute yesterday.
To win.
Donald Trump says news of Chinese AI system DeepSeek should be seen as a positive. The US president said it should just spur American tech firms to do better.
The release of DeepSeek AI from a Chinese company should be a wake-up call for our industries that we need to be laser focused on competing to win because we have the greatest scientists in the world. Even Chinese leadership told me that.
Trump was speaking in Miami on Monday after news about DeepSeek sparked a global stock sell-off. Traders dumped big tech names following reports that the Chinese system could match or beat US rivals at a fraction of the cost. That raised questions over whether future demand for chips and data centers would be as huge as expected, making Nvidia the day's big loser. The AI
So we've got China developing their own AI systems now that are competing with U.S. domestic corporations. We've got the left putting out false narratives. Trump turning on the spigots in California. A new press secretary, Letitia James, melting down. Sean Duffy confirmed. Yes, hitting the ground running. Donald Trump is at it right now, folks. And it's only day 9. Day 9. And Mark Milley. Oh, thank you, Jesus. Stripped of his security detail and his clearance. He needs to be court-martialed immediately. I don't care how many pardons that guy got from Crooked Joe. He needs to speak. But I think one of the greatest pieces of news right now is the fact that we have an opportunity to cut so much fat from the federal government because he's offering these buyouts. But don't worry, the Danes are still pissed.
It's an Dear President Trump, listen very carefully. Greenland has been part of the Danish kingdom for 800 years. It's an integrated part of our country. It is not for sale. Let me put it in words you might understand. Mr. Trump, f*** off.
Yeah. Sure, I think he's going to take that as a challenge. So there you have it. Well, Denmark's parliament members throw tantrums, and French officials make empty threats about deploying troops to Greenland. And government workers are on the chopping block. President Trump is methodically reshaping the global order. He's restored water to California farmers, exposed the absurdity of European environmental policies like Denmark's cow flatulent tax, and sent a clear message to the world: America is back, baby. The real question isn't whether Trump can acquire Greenland, it's whether the European Union could survive his second term. So what do you think? Is Europe's panic a sign of their weakness? Or is this the beginning of a major global realignment? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And speaking of global domination, dominate your wardrobe with our exclusive Mag Avengers gear at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com. Check it out in the comments below. Buckle up, baby. Buckle up. $6.99 in Super Chats, baby. Yeah. Who gave it to us? Mike's son. Ice raids in Pittsburgh. Jails are being emptied. $1.99. Juan Ruiz, a paracharacter holding his belly and laughing out loud. Okay, guys, we are at $6.99. Do I hear 20? Do I hear a 20? Is there someone out there willing to drop $20 in the Alex Jones right jar? I know someone is there. Let's check the main comment thread real quick before we head into our next segment. Go big, Trump. Woot woot. Stacy. Sherry Smith. Good evening, MAGA family. Why hasn't Cash been sworn in? We're waiting on that. 78, and he's rolling behind every blade of grass guy's overeducated SB. How much aid do we provide Denmark? Great question, Mark. Rhino's refusing to vote yes. And $5 from Craig. That's all he can muster right now. Well, Craig, we thank you for that $5 in the Super Chat. No apology necessary, sir. We appreciate you. We appreciate you bigly, as President Trump would say. Okay, it is time for Ice Baby. Yeah, Ice Baby. Ladies and gentlemen, what's happening right now in cities across America isn't just law enforcement, it's the restoration of national sovereignty. Under President Trump's direction, ICE agents are going door to door, and for the first time in years, illegal entry into the United States has actual consequences. But there's something even more remarkable happening here that nobody in the mainstream media wants to talk about. When they tell you these raids are controversial, what they're really saying is that enforcing our laws is somehow wrong. Well, tonight we're going to show you exactly what's happening on the ground. And your skin's border protection is just as crucial as our nation's security. Like ICE agents protecting our boundaries, collagen acts as your skin's first line of defense. Recent studies show that as illegal crossings damage our nation's integrity, collagen depletion similarly compromises your skin's structure. But just as Trump's policies are strengthening our borders, our advanced collagen formula fortifies your skin's barriers. This multi-collagen blend creates an impenetrable shield against aging, just as ICE agents defend illegal entry. Defend against illegal entry. Don't let your skin security be compromised. Visit healthwithgary.com for 51% off your skin's strongest defense. That's healthwithgary.com. It's linked below, and we thank our sponsors for keeping this show going and for you guys tuning in and sharing what we put out. Every video is a bullet of truth for you. Okay, the acting attorney general, check this out. This just came in. Steve Friend reports the acting attorney general ordered the FBI to assist with ICE deportations. I've been told that agents are calling in sick bird blue flu style to protest the directive. Confirm Kash Patel forthwith to root this subterfuge out. So, the FBI, gutless, worthless agents are calling in sick. Trump's calling them up to the border to assist this nation in its time of need, and they are running and hiding. As you heard, we reported today about the 88,000 IRS agents. Remember those IRS agents that Joe Biden put out to assault every single American's bank accounts? Well, now Donald Trump's threatening to send them down to the border too. Yeah, how many of them are going to call in sick? Oh, and now we have this. Check this out. This is 1 hour ago. SubX.news. We might have Homeland Security by Plymouth and Van Buren, where the migrant shelter used to be, and they used to sell drugs out there. This is on-the-spot video in Chicago.
Yeah, we might be having Homeland Security or somebody right there. See that there? Yeah, we're at Plymouth and Van Buren. This is where they sell drugs. But we might have something going on here, right?
Homeland Security on the scene in Chicago. And then we have this also, Panama with its great speed attempting to take down 64% of signs which are written in Chinese all over the Panama Canal. But of course, Tom Homan, yeah, go big or go Homan. That's what we're looking at right now. Tom Homan has declared war on the cartels. He has declared war. And I had a phone call today, some inside information, something big is going to happen, bigger than we could ever imagine. I personally think that what's going to happen, this is my speculation, what's going to happen, you heard about the story, we reported on yesterday, that Border Patrol agents were fired on by cartel members who were attempting to smuggle humans across the Rio Grande. Well, guess what? They never made it across the border, but there was a firefight, and I think that is the first shot in the war against the cartels, which by and large is going to extend into a war with Mexico, because we know the cartels are deeply embedded in the corrupt government of Mexico. So when Donald Trump declared that the cartels are a terrorist organization, yes, the tentacles of those cartels go deep, and what we're about to witness after those shots were fired, I think we're going to see some big, big military movements in Mexico against the cartels. Of course, we have all these roundups happening of all these illegals, but this is only day 9 of the Trump presidency, and we are hitting the ground running, and with all these deportations and the declaration, this is only going to intensify. So I want you to be aware of what could happen in the next coming days. Here is Tom Homan declaring war on the cartels. Listen to him say it in his own words. The whole of government is going to dismantle these people and wipe them off the face of the earth. Listen.
Out of business. What do you know about the Border Patrol agents exchanging gunfire with Mexico drug cartels from earlier?
They have taken gunfire, and it's going to get worse, Sean, because President Trump's going to seal that border. He's going to put the cartels out of business. He declared them a terrorist organization. We got the whole of government is going to dismantle these people and wipe them off the face of the earth. They're not going to go. They're not going to go lightly. We're taking them out of the trafficking business. We're taking them out of the smuggling business. We're taking them out of the dope business. There's going to be more violence on the southwest border. That's why Trump committed to calling the terrorist organization. He has. That's why the entire United States government is going to take care of those people and abolish them. We're going to attack them not just in Mexico, but in the 42 countries that Jalisco cartel is currently residing in. The Trump administration is going to take them on just like he did the caliphate, and we're going to destroy them.
Just like he did the caliphate. Okay, if that's how he's going to do it, then you know it's going to get crazy. He even said it's going to get violent on the border. Those are his own words, and we know where exactly this is going. The fight is far from over. Here's a deported Colombian arriving back in Colombia, stunning a reporter in the first interview. America is deporting everyone. Trump sent the army to the border. Listen. What message? Don't go. Don't go. Don't go, because they are deporting them all. No, in other words, they're not going to be released the next day, but the people who have been there for a month, people who are missing, no, don't go. Don't go. And there's already an army. There's already sent soldiers to the border. They put them in the asylum, but they don't release us. They leave us here. They gave us priority because, well, we bring the babies. No, but I lasted 8 days there. That is without eating well. The treatment was horrible. They woke us up as if we were the worst thing in the world. From the beginning, they treated us very badly. They threw our clothes. They didn't let us keep our cell phones. They wouldn't let us shower. The food, they woke us up at 3 a.m. They would wait until we fall asleep and wake us up an hour later. They screamed at us. Some were beaten in the medical attention, practically to get hurt, for them to let us out. So, you know what? Hey, I'm sorry. You guys made a decision, and there are consequences to your decisions to come here illegally. All right? You come here, you break the law, well, you're going to be treated like a criminal on the way out. I mean, you hear these kinds of stories from prisons, and that's exactly what these people are. They are criminals. Border agents right now record shockingly low number of illegal crossings in 1 week into the second Trump presidency. And here we have this footage right now. This is from the DEA Rocky Mountains. West Metro Task Force continued to relentlessly pursue those trafficking deadly fentanyl into our communities today. 2 men in the U.S. illegally were arrested in the Denver area. Approximately 13,000 fentanyl pills were seized, along with other drugs. So we are getting the deadly drugs off our streets. We're making our streets safer again. Thank you, Jesus. And then we have this. How sad and pathetic. Superintendent Smelling of Chicago admits that violent illegals live among us. And because Democrats eliminated bond, he tells kids to go to school. Meanwhile, Chicago mayor behind him there is sweating profusely in the background. There is that loser Brandon Johnson, who's about to be dragged in front of Congress and humiliated on the world stage, as it should be. Listen.
Grabbing people, their focus is would be people who are undocumented, who have committed violent crimes and have been convicted of crimes. What we have not seen is that we have not seen federal agents running through Chicago looking for children, going to work locations and grabbing people.
Look at Brandon Johnson in the background, sweating bullets because he knows that he is next. He's going to get dragged out of bed in the middle of the night by federal agents for obstructing the federal government in their efforts to clean the streets of America. And I am here for it. Round up Brandon Johnson, round up J.B. Pritzker, round them all up. Check this out, a 93% drop in border crossings. Donald Trump posting this photograph, this graph on his Truth Social account. And here we have White House Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller versus Jake Tapper on CNN. Tapper said, "We need illegals here to pick our crops." And then the fatality.
Agriculture said to a question about, because one of the reasons that President Trump got elected, according to President Trump in an interview, I think it was with Kristen Welker of NBC, was because of grocery prices. Not the only reason, but a reason, high prices, inflation, especially at the grocery. The Department of Agriculture says that between 2020 and 2022, 42% of crop workers were undocumented immigrants. And in many cases, as you know, these migrants do jobs many Americans do not want to do. So how does President Trump make sure that the effort to deport people who are not in this country legally doesn't end up hurting Americans who want safe borders, absolutely, but also don't want to see even more higher prices in groceries?
Well, I mean, I'm sure it's not your position, Jake. You're just asking the question that we should supply America's food with exploitative illegal alien labor. I obviously don't think that's what you're implying. Only 1% of alien workers in the entire country work in agriculture. The top destination for illegal aliens are large cities like New York, like Los Angeles, and small industrial towns, of course, all across the heartland, as we've seen with the Biden floods. Mm-hmm. None of those illegal aliens are doing farm work. Those 30,000 illegal aliens that Joe Biden dumped into Springfield.
I'm talking about the ones that are.
But I'm explaining this. It's important to understand.
No, you're kind of changing the subject. I mean, I'm talking about the ones.
I will give me 30 minutes. I'll go as deep as you want to this. I'm
talking about the ones that work in the agriculture industry.
I'm
you
explaining
can come back
to you
and
and
we
your
can talk
audience
about the ones in the cities. I swear.
I'll do the whole answer. The illegal aliens that Joe Biden brought into our country are not full stop doing farm work. They are not. The illegal aliens he brought in from Venezuela, from Haiti, from Nicaragua, they are not doing farm work. They are in our cities collecting welfare. As for the farmers, there is a guest worker program that President Trump supports. Over time as well, we will transition into automation, so we'll never have to have this conversation ever again. But there's no universe in which this nation is going to allow the previous president to flood our nation with millions and millions of illegal aliens who just get to stay here. And we are especially not going to allow a subset of those illegal aliens to rape and murder our citizens. So we are going to unapologetically enforce our immigration laws. And as I'm sure you will celebrate, we are going to unleash the power and might of the U.S. government to eradicate the presence of transnational threats on our soil.
So, boom, there it is. Fatality. And now we have this U.S. Marshals and local law enforcement at an Elgin home. Video credit Gisela Morales.
We want to see the warrant. Step out. We want to see the warrant. We want to see the warrant. No, we want to see the warrant. Step out. We want to see the warrant. It's your arrest warrant. You'll see it after. We got to see it before you guys come in. We want to see the warrant. No, we want to see the warrant. Get up now. We're recording you guys too. Let me see your badge number. No. Let me see. No, we need to see your warrant. Don't pull me like that. Don't pull me like that. Walk out. Let's go. Don't touch me. We need to see the warrant. We need don't touch me. Turn around and stay there. Thank you.
Walk to me. Walk out. That was in Elgin, a town not too far from me. And you heard the woman screaming, "Let me see your warrant." And of course, they are supposed to present the warrant. When they decide to do so, I don't know. Here we have Associated Press. ICE is now conducting mass raids for illegal alien criminals in Maryland, arresting all manner of felons who should have been deported under the Biden administration, which knew exactly where they were. Let's take a look at this AP report real quick. Maryland right now, ICE is on the ground. President Trump's administration taking full action. In the first week of the Trump administration, this is direct from the Homeland Security X account. In the first week of the Trump administration, we fulfilled President Trump's promise to the American people to arrest and deport violent criminals illegally in the country. In 1 week, law enforcement officials have removed and returned 7,300 illegal aliens. Booyah, baby. It's happening. And here we have an ICE Chicago field director stating clearly, we are targeting the worst first. This is on Fox. Listen.
What we're doing is we're targeting the worst first, right? That's who we're getting. We're focusing on those targets. We're not targeting people in schools. We're not targeting people in churches. We're targeting people who are the worst. There's a chance they're going to go to some of those places, and this administration has kind of taken some of the handcuffs off of us in a way, right? We're leaving the discretion with our officers, and our officers are trained to make good decisions out there. And we support them. And that's the one thing that we have to realize. These officers now, when we could have arrested somebody at a safe facility, right, a jail or a court lockup with one or two officers, and now we have to go out into the streets. Now most of our teams are at least 10 agents and officers trying to arrest one individual. What we're doing.
Oh, and it's going to continue, folks. There is a lot to get into here. ICE deported 7,300 illegals in Trump's first week. This is the Rapid Response 47X account. This is the new X account that's pushing back on all the lies. Illegal southern border crossings, January 17th, 1,288. January 18th, 1,266. January 19th, 1,354. January 20th, 1,073. And you can see, look at the number dropping after President Trump has already taken office, cut in half, more than half. It is called the Trump effect. We're learning now also the Tren de Aragua ringleader behind the Aurora, Colorado the Tren de Aragua ringleader behind Aurora, Colorado apartment building invasion has now been arrested in New York City by ICE. So that is good news. Also, we have this to report. Enforcement operations in New York City. Criminal alien with kidnapping, assault, and burglary now in custody. Here's more. Here's video of that arrest. Bye-bye. More criminals off the streets thanks to President Trump. And this guy's got something to say, and it's spot on. If you're against deportation, why don't you do this? Invite them over to your house and bring them around your family.
Only catch. If you're against deportation, why don't you do this? Why don't you invite them over your house? Bring them around your family, your friends, and your children. You can cook them a nice warm meal, and you guys can all sit around the table and share trendy Aragua stories. Only catch is you can't know who they are or where they come from. That sounds like a stupid fucking idea, doesn't it? Sounds like a stupid fucking idea. And then you got Selena Gomez. Hey, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Get on the bus with them and get the fuck out. Because we don't care about you crying. We don't give a rat's ass. That's why Justin Bieber left your ass. We don't give a fuck. You and that curly-headed, half-a-jerk-off fiance you got, Benny Fuckface, we don't care.
Okay. We get the point. The passion is there. Oh, my goodness. Oh, boy, yes. One of the Tren de Aragua ringleaders behind the Aurora apartment takeover has just been busted by ICE in New York City. And here is the GOP majority whip. It's pretty straightforward. President Trump is making good on his promise.
All these people want to be safe and secure in their communities. They are moving swiftly and quickly and very straightforward on removing all these rapists, murderers, gang members that have come across our southern border. Frankly, I wish they'd be doing it in my home state of Minnesota. I've got a governor that likes to say we're a sanctuary state. That's not putting Minnesotans first. That's not putting Americans first. Kristi Noem is enacting the president's agenda of putting America first. Let's get.
And we are putting America first. Here is the Daily Sneed. Reports of mistreated migrants is a bunch of crap, says Trump's border czar.
Are you treating migrants humanely? Yes. But there's been reports of them on planes with no water,
that was a bunch of
complaining.
Crap. That was a bunch of crap.
What do you mean a bunch of crap?
ICE detention facilities have the highest detention standards in the industry. Any of the ICE standards, our detention standards are higher than any state or federal or local facility in the nation, in the world. Someone should go to the ICE website, look at PBNDS 11, performance-based detention standards, and look at our detention standards, highest in the industry.
But are you sure you're only getting illegal criminal migrants? I mean, there were some pictures over the weekend of people that claim to be students, Brazilian students, who were showing examples of bruises on their arms from American deportation flights.
That's ridiculous, but if they want to make a complaint, we investigate it.
But your assurance is what?
The men and women of ICE are professionals. We do this for a living. And I can tell you, I ran ICE for years. I was the first director of ICE came up through the ranks. Again, these men and women professional, highest attention standards in the industry. We take care of these people. But we're going to enforce the law, and we're not going to apologize for doing it.
And you're going to do it in a sort of public way with, do you need to use the big military planes? Is that part of a sort of shock and awe tactic? No. They haven't been used before, have they, for migrants?
No, we got President Trump. We're going to use all the government to secure our border, which is the biggest national security vulnerability this country's ever seen. And we're going to enforce laws to this country. It's not okay to enter this country illegally. It's a crime. And when you cause a crisis as big as the Biden administration caused, when you overwhelm the Border Patrol, but they can't do their national security job, that's when the fentanyl come across, kill 250,000 Americans. That's when you have a 600% increase in sex trafficking. That's when you have a record number of no-inspected terrorists coming across an open border. President Trump's going to secure the border as promised to the American people. We're going to enforce immigration laws. That's what we're going to do, without apology. We're on board. We're going to go forward. You're going to see it get a hell of a lot bigger in the near future.
Without apology, friends. ICE is making California great again, one day at a time.
No firme nada ni diga nada. No tienen culpa para pararle. That's fucking. You should be ashamed of yourselves. You guys probably have family from Mexico. You guys should be ashamed. You guys look fucking nopal as fuck. How dare you guys? You guys are sad. Damn, this shit's sad. It's making me cry because I can't believe this shit's happening in my own fucking neighborhood. That's fucked up. She's heading to work and they're taking her, and she has family over here. That's fucking scandalous, bro. I can't believe this shit's really happening.
Believe it's happening. They broke the law. And now they are going to pay the price. Yes, it's heartbreaking, but maybe they should have thought twice before they went ahead and took advantage of Joe Biden's lax border policies. Not our problem at all. The arrival today, check this out, 400 National Guard soldiers with the Texas Tactical Border Force to assist U.S. Customs Border Protection in the Rio Grande Valley along the U.S.-Mexico border following an order yesterday by Texas Governor Greg Abbott. The boys are back in town, my friends, and it's a beautiful thing to see. How much does it cost to bring a child across the U.S.-Mexico border? Witness Kevin McAllen, Acting Homeland Security Secretary, the questioner, Mr. Jody Heiss, representative of Georgia's 10th Congressional District. Let's listen. This is from the Border Observer.
To get customers, necessary to get customers.
How much does it cost to rent a child?
It depends. We've had indications in Homeland Security investigation efforts and Border Patrol agents doing good intelligence interviews that it could cost anywhere from a few hundred or even in some cases less than $100 up to $1,000 or more.
So walk us through the...
Up to $1,000 or more. Here's Caitlin Collins. You know who she is, right? The disgrace of CNN. What we heard from immigration advocates is this is going to provide a chilling effect to parents at the school drop-off line.
What we had heard from immigration advocates is that this is going to provide a chilling effect to parents in the school drop-off line or something of that matter.
It shouldn't be a chilling effect unless their child is a terrorist or a public safety threat. If they are a public safety threat and national security threat, they should be chilled. They should be afraid because we're looking for them.
Well, if their parent is here and they're an undocumented immigrant, I think was more of the argument that they were making.
They're not off the table either. I mean, they're in the country illegally, they got a problem. I mean, it's not okay. Look, it's not okay to enter this country illegally. It's a crime. And that's the way it's supposed to be. I wouldn't feel comfortable if I'm in Switzerland illegally. So we're going to enforce laws in this country. So, you know, the schools and the churches and central location was a policy only for ICE. Only for immigration, right? But national security threats and public safety threats have no safe haven in this country, and we'll go where we got to go.
Oh, baby. It is on. Andy, no. There appears to be a trans-terror cell in the U.S. involved in serial killing. The Vermont CBP U.S. Border Patrol officer shot dead on Inauguration Day was the fourth known victim.
The deadly shooting of I think we are learning details about a trans-terror cell in the United States that has claimed a fourth victim. So the deadly shooting of the U.S. Border Patrol agent on Inauguration Day in Vermont near the Canadian border is not just a story about a homicide. According to court filings and my own reporting and interviews with somebody who knew the deceased German national, these are two people who are linked or members of a trans terror cell that was based in California who was involved in 3 prior murders. I'm quite in shock. The murders happened in late 2022. There was one earlier this month, and then now in Vermont, that would bring the body count to 4 murdered people across the United States.
Wow. I did not know that was going on. The White House announces all illegals in America now have a criminal record because invading is a crime. Chicago, Illinois resident reporting ICE agents with police officers are going door to door for immigration raids. My people, it's not a lie. House to house. House to house. You can see it right there. Yep, it's happening, folks. Door-to-door raids are occurring. And here is your new head of Department of Homeland Security. Sarah Rose says, never thought we'd see the day where we have such a gorgeous DHS secretary, brains and beauty. Wow. Yeah, quite a change from what we've had in the past. And here we have the Oklahoma Board of Education voted to approve a proposal requiring parents to provide proof of citizenship when enrolling their child in public schools. Well, that's good news. Proof of citizenship. What else have we got here? Colombian illegal aliens arrive back in Colombia with President Petro. They are Colombians, they are free and dignified, and they are in their homeland where they are loved. No, that's where they belong. Let's just be very clear about that. And here is our new press secretary.
For entry without on January 23rd, ICE New York arrested a Turkish national for entry without inspection who is a known or suspected terrorist. On January 23rd, ICE San Francisco arrested a citizen of Mexico unlawfully present in the United States who has been convicted of continuous sexual abuse of a child aged 14 years or younger. ICE St. Paul has arrested a citizen of Honduras who was convicted of 4th-degree criminal sexual conduct with a minor. ICE Buffalo arrested a citizen of Ecuador who has been convicted of rape. ICE Boston arrested a citizen of the Dominican Republic who has a criminal conviction for 2nd-degree murder. This criminal was convicted of murder for beating his pregnant wife to death in front of her 5-year-old son. And ICE St. Paul also arrested a citizen of Mexico who was convicted of possessing pornographic material of a minor on a work computer. These are the heinous individuals that this administration is removing from American communities every single day, and to the brave state and local law enforcement officers, CBP, and ICE agents who are helping in the facilitation of this deportation operation, President Trump has your back, and he is grateful for your hard work.
Oh, yeah, baby. It's on. Game on. President Trump has sent a message to the world, a clear message. Here's more from the new press secretary.
Invasion. I want to take a moment to go through some of these extraordinary actions. On day 1, President Trump declared a national emergency at our southern border to end the 4-year-long invasion of illegal aliens under the previous administration. Additionally, President Trump signed an executive order to end catch and release and finish construction of his effective border wall. By using every lever of his federal power, President Trump has sent a loud and clear message to the entire world. America will no longer tolerate illegal immigration, and this president expects that every nation on this planet will cooperate with the repatriation of their citizens. As proven by this weekend, when President Trump swiftly directed his team to issue harsh and effective sanctions and tariffs on the Colombian government. Upon hearing, they were denied a U.S. military aircraft full of their own citizens who were deported by this administration. Within hours, the Colombian government agreed to all of President Trump's demands, proving America is once again respected on the world stage. So, to foreign nationals who are thinking about trying to illegally enter the United States, think again. Under this president, you will be detained and you will be deported. Every day, Americans are safer because of the violent criminals that President Trump's administration is removing from our communities.
Let's go, baby! It is only just beginning, and the numbers don't lie. In just 9 days, ICE has conducted more meaningful enforcement actions than the entire Biden administration did in 4 years. We're seeing the National Guard deployed to the Rio Grande Valley, while sanctuary cities finally face consequences for their lawless policies. But here's the question nobody's asking. If enforcing our immigration laws is this effective this quickly, why did we wait so long? Why did previous administrations tell us this was impossible? What else have they been lying about when it comes to our border security? Share your thoughts in the comments below about whether you think these raids will finally restore order to our immigration system. Are you ready to show your support for law and order? Grab your limited edition Mag Avengers gear at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com. What are you waiting for? It's linked in the description. Buckle up, baby! We are just getting started. Okay. We've got $20 from David Guthrie. What's up, David? You heard the call and you answered it. Kelly Logan, 1999, saying, thank you for getting us nothing but the truth. God bless you, Gary. Bernadette, she sent $2. No special message attached, just a $2 bill, and we thank you for it. Peter Alvarez, he put a super sticker, and it says, the ghost of our hippo character floats in front of the words, game over. That's right, it's game over for the illegals. And Viv B, wow. Viv B is always on fire, and she is actively giving out memberships like candy. She just gave 5 Next News Network memberships to David and Mike and Rosebud and Crash and Burn and Joseph. We thank you for that. We're now at $55.97. Are we going to hit 100 tonight? Can we hit 100? We are almost there. We're about $43 away. Let's make it so. I have to give Angie a good report after the show. That's how, you guys know how it works in my family, right? Okay, let's take a look at the main chat real quick and see what y'all are saying. Yes, and the Madnesses pillar, Ides of March, the Bears, the Gary, the Bears. Yeah, smash the like button. If you haven't done so, why not? Do you like me or not? Gary needs to get his press pass. You worked for it. Yes, Freebird. We have already submitted the application. I'll get to that more in a minute. Angie has Gary chained to the table. That's right. She says you cannot finish your show until you reach at least $200. Those are family rules. The Bears. UFO disclosure, please. We're waiting for that as well. SNL, remember, bro. Drones are annoying, says sure you. Thanks all. And looks like Susan just dropped $4.99. What's up, Susan? Thank you. A super sticker with a cute little fox. And Juan dropping $5 in his 5th super chat. Another super sticker. And Peter has just dropped onto the operative level. Welcome to the club, Peter. And Wilson dropping $4.99, another super sticker. This is awesome. Smoochy drones. Speak to us, Gary. Well, guess what? I will be speaking to you about the drones later in the show. Yes, we have smash and grab the like button. Smash and grab. Okay. Heather Reeve. Where's Angie, Gary? I can't tell you where she's at. She's at an undisclosed location. Round all illegal aliens up. Oh, and don't worry. Yes, I did apply for media coverage at the White House. We did do so. And we will soon be reconfiguring this entire studio We're going to put new cameras in here, new desk. It's going to have a new look, and something that's long overdue. We've had this set construction since about 2016, after Trump won, and it has served us well. But it's time for some upgrades, wouldn't you say? Okay, we've got to get into our next topic of the night. Now, before I do that, Brian, real quick, I want to refresh this browser. I may lose contact with my X feed because I have to reload and reconnect. So just got to do this real quick. Everyone just kind of chill out for 1 second. Don't go anywhere. Why are you leaving? I see you leaving. Don't go nowhere. We ain't done yet. Well, don't leave. How dare you? 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 $2 from Susan. What's up? $2 from Susan.
How dare you?
How dare you? How dare you? Okay. All right, Brian. Let's see if we got the feed up. Let's see if we got the feed. Brian, is the feed good? You got it? Are we reconnected? Solid? Okay, coming back. Let's see. Okay, topic number 3, subject 3. Oh, this is the good one. This is the good one. Yeah, baby, let's frickin' go. Something extraordinary happened in the White House briefing room today. A 27-year-old woman walked into what many would call a lion's den of hostile corporate media. And instead of being devoured, she turned the tables completely. Carolyn Leavitt didn't just handle the press corps, she redefined what a press secretary can be, but there's a deeper story here. When the media tells you that they're concerned about her age or her style, what they're really worried about is something far more threatening to their power. She's exposing their game, and tonight we're going to show you exactly how she did it. And while our new press secretary heats up the briefing room with truth and transparency, you shouldn't have to heat up your whole house just to stay comfortable. Just as Carolyn Leavitt revolutionizes White House communications with precision and efficiency, our compact heater revolutionizes home comfort with targeted warmth. Why waste energy heating unused spaces? Like Leavitt's precise responses, this device delivers exactly what you need, where you need it. As she brings a fresh approach to the White House, bring a smarter approach to heating. Visit staywarmnow.com for 60% off and free shipping. That's staywarmnow.com. Okay, baby. This is what she said. Thank you, everyone who tuned into today's White House press briefing. If you're an independent journalist, podcaster, social media influencer, or content creator who meet the criteria, apply to come and join us. whitehouse.gov/new media. Criteria: produce news-related content, do not work for a news organization that already has a briefing room seat, and pay for your own travel to Washington, D.C. Well, I fit that criteria quite well, and we have already applied. Buckle up. Now, this is probably one of the most important clips that you will see today. The White House press secretary announces the Trump White House will be giving press passes to independent journalists, podcasters, social media influencers, etc. This is the death knell for the archaic mainstream media. We are the media now.
Has fallen to a record low. And in keeping with this revolutionary media approach that President Trump deployed during the campaign, the Trump White House will speak to all media outlets and personalities, not just the legacy media who are seated in this room. Because according to recent polling from Gallup, Americans' trust in mass media has fallen to a record low. Millions of Americans, especially young people, have turned from traditional television outlets and newspapers to consume their news from podcasts, blogs, social media, and other independent outlets. It's essential to our team that we share President Trump's message everywhere and adapt this White House to the new media landscape in 2025. To do this, I am excited to announce the following changes will be made to this historic James S. Brady briefing room, where Mr. Brady's legacy will endure. This White House believes strongly in the First Amendment, so it's why our team will work diligently to restore the press passes of the 440 journalists whose passes were wrongly revoked by the previous administration. We're also opening up this briefing room to new media voices who produce news-related content and whose outlet is not already represented by one of the seats in this room. We welcome independent journalists, podcasters, social media influencers, and content creators to apply for credentials to cover this White House. And you can apply now on our new website, whitehouse.gov/new media. Starting today, this seat in the front of the room, which is usually occupied by the press secretary's staff, will be called the new media seat. My team will review the applications and give credentials to new media applicants who meet our criteria and pass United States Secret Service requirements to enter the White House complex. So in light of these announcements, our first questions for today's briefing will go to these new media members whose outlets, despite being some of the most viewed news websites in the country, have not been given seats in this room. And in keeping...
Buckle up, baby. It's happening. The White House is open to the true free press. Now, it sounded like they're only going to have one seat there available. That's like, you know how many applications that they just received? I mean, everyone on Twitter is putting in applications. Everybody. I put in an application. What? One seat? Yeah, how are they going to sort that out? Over on Fox, they're saying she did a terrific job. We got lots of clips from the press briefing. But yeah, here is a shot of Karine Jean-Pierre. She got completely knocked out in the first few seconds of round one. Karoline Leavitt, the youngest White House press secretary, makes her debut in the briefing room. I watched her first press briefing. She's a pistol, did a great job. Hard to believe she's in her 20s, a major upgrade over Karine Jean-Pierre, or whatever the hell her name was. At 27, Karoline Leavitt making history as the youngest press secretary ever. Unlike her predecessor, she's articulate, unshaken, and actually answers questions, and she's actually beautiful. Isn't it nice to have a White House press secretary that actually answers questions? Let's hear how Fox...
All hands... Looking at this thing very from a dispassionate perspective, she did a terrific job. She's
Absolutely.
27 years old. She had to be up there with butterflies in her stomach, and she handled herself incredibly
And it was a packed room. As you could see, every time that it was time for another question, all hands were up, and that room was...
All hands were up. Okay, so let's get to some of the moments. White House Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt on whether Medicaid is affected by President Trump's federal funding freeze amid reports of nationwide issues with the program. Let's listen here.
Caroline, can you just clarify for a sec what you were saying before on Medicaid? It wasn't clear to me whether you were saying that no Medicaid would be cut off. Obviously, a lot of this goes to states before it goes to individuals and so forth. So are you guaranteeing here that no individual now on Medicaid would see a cutoff because of the policy?
I'll check back on that and get back to you. John.
Oh, I'll check back on that. I don't like hearing that. Reminds me of Circle Back Psaki. Okay, the president is committed to tax cuts and spending cuts.
The president is committed to both tax cuts and spending cuts, and he has a great team negotiating on his behalf, but there's no better negotiator than Donald Trump, and I'm sure he'll be involved in this reconciliation process as it moves forward.
Tax cuts and spending cuts on the horizon. How many illegal aliens arrested by ICE since President Trump took office have criminal records? Oh, this is a great response.
Culture shift in our nation.
3,500 arrests ICE has made so far since President Trump came back into office. Can you just tell us the numbers? How many have a criminal record versus those who are just in the country illegally?
All of them, because they illegally broke our nation's laws and therefore they are criminals as far as this administration goes. I know the last administration didn't see it that way, so it's a big culture shift in our nation to view someone who breaks our immigration laws as a criminal, but that's exactly what they are.
You may have pointed one of the worst first. They all have a criminal record?
And welcome to the briefing
If they broke our nation's laws, yes, they are criminal. Yes.
Yep, they are criminals. Okay. Individual direct assistance from the federal government will continue despite what the mainstream media tells you. Here's the press secretary again.
This is not a blanket pause on federal assistance and grant programs from the Trump administration. Individual assistance, that includes, I'm not naming everything that's included, but just to give you a few examples, Social Security benefits, Medicare benefits, food stamps, welfare benefits, assistance that is going directly to individuals will not be impacted by this pause. And I want to make that very clear to any Americans who are watching at home who may be a little bit confused about some of the media reporting. This administration, if you are receiving individual assistance from the federal government, you will still continue to receive that. However, it is the responsibility of this president and this administration to be good stewards of taxpayer dollars. That is something that President Trump campaigned on. That's why he has launched DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency, who is working alongside OMB. And that's why OMB sent out this memo last night, because the president signed an executive order directing OMB to do just this. And the reason for this is to ensure that every penny that is going out the door is not conflicting with the executive orders and actions that this president has taken. So what does this pause mean? It means no more funding for illegal DEI programs. It means no more funding for the Green New scam that has cost American taxpayers tens of billions of dollars. It means no more funding for transgenderism and wokeness across our federal bureaucracy and agencies. No more funding for Green New Deal social engineering policies. Again, people who are receiving individual assistance, you will continue to receive that. And President Trump is looking out for you by issuing this pause because he is being good steward of your taxpayer dollars.
Oh, the party is over. This is quite the upgrade of the century. Here is where we were, and here is where we are. Yes, absolutely. Peace through strength is back, she says. This president will not tolerate illegal immigration. Listen.
And this president, absolutely. I'll echo the answer that the president gave on Air Force One last night when he was asked a very similar question by one of your colleagues in the media. This signifies peace through strength is back. And this president will not tolerate illegal immigration into America's interior. And he expects every nation on this planet, again, to cooperate with the repatriation of their citizens who illegally entered into our country and broke America's laws. Won't be tolerated. And as you saw, the Colombian government quickly folded and agreed to all of President Trump's demands. Flights are underway once again.
Yeah, buckle up, baby. Oh, and speaking of losers, like Colombia's president, Jim Acosta has said his final farewells on CNN. Yes, he's no longer employed. He got the boot. And this is his final self-important Dear Diary segment from CNN's biggest jowled diva.
My career at CNN. Just wanted to end today's show by thanking all of the wonderful people who work behind the scenes at this network. You may have seen some reports about me and the show. And after giving all of this some careful consideration and weighing an alternative time slot CNN offered me, I've decided to move on. I am grateful to CNN for the nearly 18 years I've spent here doing the news. People often ask me if the highlight of my career at CNN was at the White House covering Donald Trump. Actually, no. That moment came here when I covered former President Barack Obama's trip to Cuba in 2016 and had the chance to question the dictator there, Raul Castro, about the island's political prisoners. As the son of a Cuban refugee, I took home this lesson. It is never a good time to bow down to a tyrant. I've always believed it's the job of the press to hold power to account. I've always tried to do that here at CNN, and I plan on doing all of that in the future. One final message.
Where are you going to do that, Jim? You going to join Don Lemon? Or are you going to do it from your bedroom? You're going to be a podcaster now? You're going to be a YouTuber? Yeah.
Give in to the lies. Don't give in to the fear. Hold on to the truth and to hope. Even if you have to get out your phone, record that message. I will not give in to the lies. I will not give in to the fear.
Even if you have to take out your phone and record a message. That's pretty much what he's going to be reduced to. Hey, this is Jim Acosta here, reporting live from the border. Everything's peaceful here, right? Nothing to see here at all. Yeah, that's going to be Jim Acosta.
Post it on your social media so people can hear from you too. I'll have more to say about my plans in the coming days, but until then, I want to thank all of you for tuning in. It has been an honor to be welcomed into your home for all these years. That's the news. Reporting from Washington, I'm Jim Acosta.
All right, man, don't let the door hit you on the way out. Okay, we've got some more here. Caroline Levitt, check this out. DOGE and OMB found there was about 50 million taxpayer dollars that went out the door to fund condoms in Gaza. Condoms in Gaza.
Affect Meals on Wheels. Doge and OMB also found that there was about to be 50 million taxpayer dollars that went out the door to fund condoms in Gaza. That is a preposterous waste of taxpayer money. So that's what this pause is focused on, being good stewards of tax dollars.
And so this doesn't affect Meals on Wheels or Head Start or disaster aid?
Again, it does not affect individual assistance that's going to Americans.
Yep, but the media is going to try to scare you into thinking otherwise. Oh, here's where she says that she is going to be a steward of the truth in that briefing room.
That we know for a fact there have been lies that have been pushed by many legacy media outlets in this country about this president, about his family, and we will not accept that. We will call you out when we feel that your reporting is wrong or there is misinformation about this White House. So yes, I will hold myself to the truth, and I expect everyone in this room to do the same. We know for...
Yeah, good luck with that. April Ryan, of course, she's going to ask this question. Have you got any word on whether the administration will celebrate Black History Month? What kind of a frickin' question is that?
Certainly still intends.
As we're dealing with anti-DEI, anti-woke efforts, we understand this administration is thinking about celebrating Black History Month. Have you got any word on that? Anything that you can offer to us?
As far as I know, this White House certainly still intends to celebrate, and we will continue to celebrate American history and the contributions that all Americans, regardless of race, religion, or creed, have made to our great country, and America is back. Christian Day Talk.
All Americans, regardless of race, color, or creed. And let's see, we also have the report on the water being turned on in California.
Caroline, on California, could you please clarify what the military did with the water last night as referenced in the president's Truth Social post?
The water has been turned back on in California, and this comes just days after President Trump visited Pacific Palisades, and as you all saw, applied tremendous pressure on state and local officials in Pacific Palisades, including Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass, to turn on the water and to direct that water to places in the south and in the middle of the state that have been incredibly dry, which has led to the rapid expansion of these fires.
So could you clarify, Caroline, on California, could you please clarify
So
what
the water is back on in California. Trump already making California great again. What else have we got? Okay, this is the opening of the press conference. Let's take a look at the beginning of it.
It's an honor. Good afternoon, everybody. How are we? Good to see all of you. It's an honor to be here with all of you. A lot of familiar faces in the room, a lot of new faces. And President Trump is back, and the golden age of America has most definitely begun. The Senate has already confirmed 5 of President Trump's exceptional cabinet nominees: Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, CIA Director John Ratcliffe, Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, and Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. It is imperative that the Senate continues to confirm the remainder of the president's well-qualified nominees as quickly as possible. As you have seen during the past week, President Trump is hard at work fulfilling the promises that he made to the American people on the campaign trail. Since taking the oath of office, President Trump has taken more than 300 executive actions, secured nearly $1 trillion in U.S. investments, deported illegal alien rapists, gang members, and suspected terrorists from our homeland, and restored common sense to the federal government.
Common sense is exactly what the government needs. And speaking of common sense, she says Trump is still planning to implement tariffs on Mexico and Canada later this week. Here it comes, baby.
About the potential. Thank you for the question. I appreciate it. Can you give us an update on the president's plans for his tariff agenda? He spoke a lot about this yesterday, and there's a couple of dates coming up that he's spoken to. Number one, February 1st, he's alluded to both the potential for tariffs for Canada and Mexico, but also China to take effect on those days. What's he thinking about that?
Yeah.
Should those countries expect that?
Again, he was asked and answered this question this past weekend when he took a lot of questions from the press, and he said that the February 1st date for Canada and Mexico still holds.
What about the China 10% tariff that he also had mused about last Tuesday going into effect on the same day?
Yeah, the president has said that he is very much still considering that for February 1st.
February 1st, the games begin. And here we have her on birthright citizenship.
Agreement with the folks that you mentioned have a right to have that legal opinion, but it is in disagreement with the legal opinion of this administration. This administration believes that birthright citizenship is unconstitutional, and that is why President Trump signed that executive order. Illegal immigrants who come to this country and have a child are not subject to the laws of this jurisdiction. That's the opinion of this administration. We have already appealed the lawsuit that was filed against this administration, and we are prepared to fight this all the way to the Supreme Court if we have to, because President Trump believes that this is a necessary step to secure our nation's borders and protect our homeland. The folks that you...
No more birth tourism, baby. Here we have Caitlin Collins. Yeah, she is now taking over the Jim Acosta role. Collins, who advised the president on the legality of telling government agencies they don't have to spend money that was already appropriated to Congress. Here we have talking about the OMB memo that has everyone freaking out.
One on the freeze in federal funding. Who advised the president on the legality of telling government agencies that they don't have to spend money that was already appropriated by Congress?
Well, as the OMB memo states, this is certainly within the confines of the law. So White House counsel's office believes that this is within the president's power to do it, and therefore he's doing it.
Okay, so they disagree with lawmakers who say that they don't have the power to freeze this funding.
Again, I would point you to the language in the memo that clearly states this is within the law.
And on what happened on Friday night, the administration...
Has anyone noticed she's not reading any of her answers from a book? Yes, I saw your comment there. Here we have a reporter asking about the ICE arrests, and half don't have criminal records. Here's the press secretary further on that point.
It's not criminal.
Federal crime.
Criminals. NBC News has learned that ICE arrested 1,179 undocumented immigrants on Sunday, but nearly half of them, 566 of the migrants, appear to have no prior criminal record besides entering the country illegally. Is the president still focused exclusively, which is a civil crime, it's not criminal?
It's a federal crime.
So I'm asking, though, he said he was going to focus on those violent offenders first. So is violent offenders no longer the predicate for these people to be deported?
The president has said countless times on the campaign trail, I've been with him at the rallies, I know you've been there covering them too, Peter, that he is focused on launching the largest mass deportation operation in American history of illegal criminals. And if you are an individual, a foreign national, who illegally enters the United States of America, you are, by definition, a criminal. And so therefore, you are subject to deportation.
I apologize for interrupting. So to be clear, violent criminals do not receive precedence in terms of the deportations taking place.
The president has also said two things can be true at the same time. We want to deport illegal criminals, illegal immigrants from this country, but the president has said that, of course, the illegal criminal drug dealers, the rapists, the murderers, the individuals who have committed heinous acts on the interior of our country and who have terrorized law-abiding American citizens, absolutely, those should be the priority of ICE, but that doesn't mean that the other illegal criminals who entered our nation's borders are off the table.
Ha-ha! Buckle up, baby. Oh, and then they tried to corner on egg prices, and she smacks him down.
For the increase, really glad you brought this up, because there is a lot of reporting out there that is putting the onus on this White House for the increased cost of eggs. I would like to point out to each and every one of you that in 2024, when Joe Biden was in the Oval Office, or upstairs in the residence sleeping, I'm not so sure, egg prices increased 65% in this country. We also have seen the cost of everything, not just eggs. Bacon, groceries, gasoline have increased because of the inflationary policies of the last administration. As far as the egg shortage, what's also contributing to that is that the Biden administration and the Department of Agriculture directed the mass killing of more than 100 million chickens, which has led to a lack of chicken supply in this country, therefore a lack of egg supply, which is leading to the shortage. So I will leave you with this point. This is an example of why it's so incredibly important that the Senate moves swiftly to confirm all of President Trump's nominees, including his nominee for the United States Department of Agriculture, Brooke Rollins, who is already speaking with Kevin Hassett, who's leading the economic team here at the White House, on how we can address the egg shortage in this country. As for costs, I laid out the plethora of ways that President Trump has addressed saving costs for the American people over the past week. He looks forward to continuing to doing that in the days ahead. I'm really glad you brought this up.
All right, that's a wrap. And just one briefing. she's accomplished what seemed impossible. She made the White House press briefing actually informative again. By opening credentials to independent journalists and social media influencers, she's bypassing the traditional gatekeepers who've controlled the narrative for decades. But here's what everybody should be asking. If a 27-year-old can handle the world's toughest press corps with this much skill and grace, what does this say about all those experienced press secretaries who couldn't answer a single question without checking their binders? Is this the beginning of the end for legacy media's monopoly on White House coverage? Share your thoughts below. And look as sharp as our new press secretary. Rock your MAG Avengers gear from shop at .nextnewsnetwork.com, linked in the description. Yeah, baby. America is back. Let's check the super chats real quick here. Looks like quite a few. We are 84.95. Guys, we got to hit 100 at least, or else I'm sleeping on the couch again. Yeah. I love you guys. Okay. Let's see. We got Susan Feller dropping $2. Thank you. We got Wilson dropping $4.99. A pair character cheerfully blowing a party horn. We got Juan Ruiz character holding their head in their hand saying incredible. Pilar Gulat has just become a member. We've also got Heather Reeve, $2. Angie hasn't been on the chat in a while. She is missed. Well, I did see that message come through, and I shot Angie a text message. I said, Angie, your fans are calling you. And I think she jumped in. And then we have Lone Wolf 36. We endured 6 years of total immorality, and we are finally here. Nothing but wins for logic and morality. I couldn't be happier. Thank you, Lone Wolf, for that $10. And Dave the Patriot dropping $2. Stop the planes, chemtrails, and kid trafficking. Absolutely. Yes, guys, we are on a roll tonight. I want to check in real quick on the main chat, see what you guys are saying over there. On the other side, Angie says I'm here. Hey, Angie, what's up? Rizbrad, hey, Angie. Millie revoked security clearance and protection. Yes, we saw that. What else is going on? WB Angie, Dave the Patriot. And then we have Ocean Breathe Salty dropping in $10 in the super chat jar. What is he saying? I think it's just, I love it. Winning is fun. We are winning. So much winning is happening. I can't handle it anymore. Donald Trump said we'd be tired of winning. Well, you know what? I'm not tired of winning. Are you tired of winning? I think the winning has only just begun. Ides of March. Gary, don't neglect on the chat. Freeloaders. Gotcha. Hope Millie gets referred to a court martial. So do I. I will buy from farmers as long as the land doesn't belong to China. We needed about $50,000 a month to put a dent in it. Yes, we do, Joe. What else we got here? There's Angie. There she is. I'm here, she says. There's my girl. There's my kukla. Angie, Heather Reeves, like, hey, Angie. Love it. All right. Okay, we got to jump to our next story. What's up? Let's get it on. Topic number 4. Dun, dun, dun. Okay. For months, mysterious drones terrorized American communities, hovering over nuclear facilities, military bases, and yes, even President Trump's Bedminster property. The Biden administration told us they had no idea what these were. They suggested foreign adversaries, maybe even aliens. Well, tonight we can tell you that it was a lie, a complete fabrication. And thanks to our new White House press secretary and our president, we now know exactly who was behind these drones. But the real story isn't just about the drones. It's about why they lied. And what you're about to learn should make every American question everything that they have been told. And just as President Trump is exposing the truth about those mysterious drones, it's time to expose the truth about your power consumption, like those unauthorized aircraft monitoring our skies. Hidden energy waste is silently draining your resources. But now, just as the White House is bringing transparency to our drone situation, our revolutionary device brings clarity to your energy usage. This advanced technology detects and eliminates power waste, much like Trump's administration is eliminating government deception. Take control of your energy just like we're taking control of our airspace. Visit don'twastepower.com for 65% off. That's don'twastepower.com, linked below. Okay, so we've got a long story to get to. So get into a comfortable chair. We have to go through the history of what occurred. And we can start back at January 9th. This is just before President Trump assumed the presidency.
Have no way.
This is the meeting he had at Mar-a-Lago with the governors, Republican governors.
The story that kind of disappeared very suddenly. Do you have any idea whatever happened to the drones?
What happened to drones?
Well, you said that you knew you thought the government knew what was happening with these drones over New Jersey. There were some by Bedminster.
I don't know. They're over Bedminster a lot, so I can imagine. I'm going to give you a report on drones about one day into the administration, because I think it's ridiculous that they're not telling you about what's going on with the drones. And it's not only with me. Glenn was telling me today that in Virginia they have drones all over the place too, and nobody's reporting it. I don't know why they're not. Do you want to say something about that?
So that was at the governor's meeting that he had. But this story goes back so much further. Remember when the Pentagon said this?
Investigated by local law enforcement. These are not U.S. military drones. Again, this is being investigated by local law enforcement. What our initial assessment here is that these are not drones or activities coming from a foreign entity or adversary.
You're telling me we don't know what the hell these drones are in New Jersey are? Is that correct?
That's right.
It's crazy. I mean, that's crazy. That's madness that we don't know what these drones are.
From the Coast Guard, who said that one of their 47-foot motor lifeboats was followed by between 12 and 30 of these drones as they went through the water.
These are 6-foot drones that are somehow evading our detection. They are not being detected.
They're saying no threat, but how the hell do they know? They don't know anything. They don't know what it is. They don't know where it come from. They don't know nothing.
They know that they can't track them. They know that they don't emit a signal. They know that they can't see them when they turn their lights out. They also indicated that they don't know where they come from. They don't know where they go to.
One family claims they followed a drone in their car, and while it hovered above them, the clock in their car changed times.
Some of the FBI agents that have been assigned to look into this have reported drones flying over their home.
It's right here over Picatinny. There was a drone just hanging out. I put my drone up in the air and went towards it. I had full battery life. Not 3 minutes into the flight, I lost control of the drone. Warning on my screen, lost control, and my drone started going down dead.
These are fully charged batteries. It's 2 batteries that have died within seconds, and the drone went up and like a couple feet off the table, and then came right back down.
Okay, you see it? You see how it goes? See how it goes? And then it becomes a spacecraft or aircraft or whatever you want to call it.
What the fuck is that, bro? Did it just get smaller? Bro, what?
Above the ocean, and it was low, very low, but so bright and so clear, and it was huge. Like when you...
I'm concerned. I issued a letter to ask for more information, and I think there should be a lot more transparency about that.
Can you make that make more sense? Because I think people in New York and New Jersey see drones the size of an SUV over their house every night and think that that doesn't make any sense.
I understand why people would be looking at this and being concerned about it. We're concerned about it too, which is why we have the Department of Homeland Security and the FBI. My goodness, looking at this, and we're taking it seriously.
These are not.
We're taking it seriously. Hardly taking it seriously. And then remember, we had this. They said, and even I had a source that told me they were sniffing for nuclear material, radiological material that was missing. Okay, where is the clip? I've got it here. Where is the clip? Well, here's President Trump when he addressed the drones prior to assuming as well.
What about the fear here at home of the drones?
Thank you. Good to see you. Good to see you.
Can you comment on the drones that are flying around New Jersey ports? It seems like the American people have a big disconnect.
The government knows what is happening. Look, our military knows where they took off from. If it's a garage, they can go right into that garage. They know where it came from and where it went. And for some reason, they don't want to comment. And I think they'd be better off saying what it is. Our military knows and our president knows. And for some reason, they want to keep people in suspense. I can't imagine it's the enemy, because if it was the enemy, they'd blast it out. Even if they were late, they'd blast it. Something strange is going on. For some reason, they don't want to tell the people. And they should, because the people are really, I mean, they happen to be over Bedminster.
Will you shoot them down?
They're very close to Bedminster. I think maybe I won't spend the weekend in Bedminster. I've decided to cancel my trip.
Have you received an intelligence briefing on the drones?
I don't want to comment on that.
Have you been?
I don't want to comment on that. Okay, so here is the old press secretary addressing it.
In New Jersey, these are not small drones, some of them pretty large. They're flying at low altitudes, they're flying in flocks. Has the president been briefed on this situation?
So we are certainly aware, the president is aware. So we're closely tracking the activity and coordinating closely with relevant agency, including DHS and FBI, to continue to investigate these incidents. Don't have anything beyond that to share. Obviously, this is something that DHS and FBI are tracking very, very closely, and so I would have to refer you to them directly, but aware. Keeping an eye out and looking into the incidents that you just mentioned.
Still though, but has the federal government ruled out that these are controlled by foreign entities?
Yeah.
And do you know if they're conducting surveillance over these
So
areas?
I cannot make any kind of predictions or comments about that specifically from here. This is something that DHS is looking at and FBI, so I would have to refer you to them. I don't have.
Okay, enough of that old press secretary. Here is President Trump on the day he took office, fulfilling the promise.
Is it anything, these drones, is it anything that people need to be worried
No, I think
about?
it's terrible. I would like to find out what it is and tell the people.
And can you commit to some kind of...
In fact, I'd like to do that. Could we find out what that was, Susie? Okay? Yeah, why don't we find out immediately? I mean, I can't imagine it's an enemy, or there would have been, people would have gotten blown up all over. Maybe they were testing things. I don't know why they wouldn't have said what it was. They had a lot of them flying over Bedminster, which is interesting.
And with the events today and yesterday, was everything moved inside just for cold weather, or was there some kind of security?
No security. Because they had everything shut down to drones. You can shut that down pretty easily if you're sophisticated. They're very sophisticated, these people.
Very sophisticated. Well, here is the new press secretary revealing what, in fact, they were.
Directly. And before I turn to questions, I do have news directly from the President of the United States that was just shared with me in the Oval Office. From President Trump directly, an update on the New Jersey drones. After research and study, the drones that were flying over New Jersey in large numbers were authorized to be flown by the FAA for research and various other reasons. Many of these drones were also hobbyists, recreational, and private individuals that enjoy flying drones. In time, it got worse due to curiosity. This was not the enemy. A statement from the President of the United States to start this briefing with some news. And with that, I will turn it over to questions.
And there you have it. President Trump saying that they were authorized by the FAA. Here is Carl Jackson reacting.
By Caroline Leavitt mentioned the drones over New Jersey. I missed that part. So the White House has clarified that the drones spotted over New Jersey were authorized by the FAA for research and recreational activities. Trump, through statements relayed by Leavitt, Press Secretary Leavitt emphasized that these drones did not pose a security threat. The increase in drone activity was partly due to public curiosity following initial reports. That's on X. Why couldn't the Biden administration just say that? Why couldn't they just say that? Caroline Levitt.
Yeah, why couldn't they just say it was the FAA? Instead, we had absolute pandemonium. I mean, here's this guy.
A group, whether they belong to a foreign adversary or even a group of reckless individuals. We've been down this road before. When the Chinese spy balloon crossed our skies, we were told it wasn't a threat. We later learned it was actively gathering intelligence. Yet we have already made the same damn mistake with these drones by allowing them to freely operate for almost a month now.
Oh, yeah. Finally, we're getting some answers. And remember this guy?
Here, you know, when this story first came out a few weeks ago, as a resident of New Jersey, as a journalist, I didn't pay it much credence. I thought it would turn out to be a bunch of pranksters and this would all be over by now. The experience I had last night, however, changed the way I feel about this story completely. What I saw was more sophisticated than I ever imagined. Take a look.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at least 5 lights, 6 lights.
I didn't believe what I was seeing. But what was I seeing? We're here in central Jersey. We've been looking for the past hour. I think we've seen about 40 or 50 of these drones. In fact, there's one over my shoulder right there. One after another, these drones appeared in the night sky. If you look real close, they look like fixed-wing aircraft, about 8 to 10 feet wide, colorful, white blinking lights.
That is not a plane.
Definitely not an airplane, but what was it? Hours earlier, I was invited to join the Ocean County Sheriff Department. They launched their own drones to see if they could intercept the mysterious aircraft New Jersey residents have been reporting in recent weeks. The department says these mystery drones evade detection because they don't give off heat like regular drones. Why do you think that is?
We don't know. It's just something that we haven't, it's not something that we've had our hands on. It's not something that we've experienced.
Something they hadn't experienced until now. One of their officers called 911 after seeing 50 of them come off the ocean.
Advised after we made contact with that officer that there were 50 that came off the ocean.
50?
50. That was my reaction also. There were 50 that were coming off the ocean.
And this is a sworn officer?
A sworn officer, yes. We contacted state police, we contacted the FBI, we contacted the Coast Guard, at which point the Coast Guard went out with their boat and they reported seeing 13 following their boat. And then the Coast Guard also advised that they went over them about 300 feet and had a wingspan of about 8 feet.
A wingspan of 8 feet. And now we're learning from the White House that they were authorized by the FAA doing research. What kind of research? We still don't know. We still don't know. But we're going to find out. Hopefully we'll get even more answers. But thankfully we have a White House that believes in transparency, executing the promises that he has already made since just before his inauguration, and then on Inauguration Day, and then with the press secretary. We'll play the clip one more time.
And before I turn to questions, I do have news directly from the President of the United States that was just shared with me in the Oval Office. From President Trump directly, an update on the New Jersey drones. After research and study, the drones that were flying over New Jersey in large numbers were authorized to be flown by the FAA for research and various other reasons. Many of these drones were also hobbyists, recreational, and private individuals that enjoy flying drones. In time, it got worse due to curiosity. This was not the enemy. A statement from the President of the United States to start this briefing with some news. And with that, I will turn it over to questions. And before I turn...
So there you have it. Looks like the case is closed, at least for now. But from New Jersey to Louisiana, from Quantico to our nuclear facilities, these drones were not foreign threats, as we were told. They were our own government conducting what they call research. But here's what nobody's asking. Research for what? Why did the Biden administration create panic about foreign adversaries when they knew exactly what these drones were? And most importantly, what kind of research requires terrorizing American citizens and lying about it for months? The Pentagon's shifting stories, the FAA's contradictions, the threats of deadly force, none of it adds up. So what do you think they were really studying? Share your theories in the comments below. And you want the truth? Wear it proudly with the Mag Avengers gear at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com, linked below. All right. What were they researching? We may never know. Okay, let's see. We got Ruby Sue dropping $10. What's up with that? Thank you very much. And the Madness, £5 sterling. A paracharacter lifting some weights saying, keep it up. Thank you for that. We are now at $113.17. We are almost at $150, folks. That is where we want to get tonight. Can we break it? Can we break that number? I think we can. I think we can. Let's see what you guys are saying in the main chat. I heard information about the Panama Canal on a history station. I hadn't heard any of this from politics. Exactly, Gary E.R. I think drones are looking for that missing bomb or chemicals or fertilizer. Are they still flying in the sky? Good question. Haven't heard anything about it. DARPA drones preparing for Project Bluebeam, says 10 Dude. I call BS as life happens. I don't believe it at all. Michael Garner says, so many people missing the point. Jesus is coming. Every knee will bow. Every tongue will confess Jesus Christ is King. Amen. What else? We've got researching citizens on their private property. Bank on it, says Jason. Listen closer, Gary. She said research and other reasons. Yes, I did hear her say that. Okay, maybe trying to see how people act. All part of control theory. Next News Network, Trump dance time. The legend of Josie Wales. So what's up with the JFK file? Who done it? Well, you got to go back to our previous report on this, and I'll tell you this, that they have 15 days to come up with a plan and 45 days to release the material. Okay, so we're all going to be waiting on that. $20 from Jesse Beasley. Thank you, Jesse. $133.17. Jesse Beasley getting us closer to our goal tonight. Let's go, baby. All right, we got more news to get to. Let's hop into our next segment. I think you guys are going to enjoy this. You know what, Brian? I'm gonna refresh this browser one more time. It seems to get really laggy. Not sure exactly why it's doing that. Just give me 1 second. I'm gonna reload this browser. It seems to help when I do that. Okay, get the comments back so I can see what you guys are saying. Move this and drop that, and okay. I think you guys are going to like this. What you're about to hear sounds like satire, because it is. But I assure you these executive orders are exactly that. But they tell a profound story about the future of our country. President Trump changing policies. He's transforming how government works, how itself works. When they tell, you know what? I mean, I got to take this over. Oh, man. Take two, baby. Take two. What you're about to hear sounds like satire, and that's because it is. Yeah, these executive orders may sound real, but they do tell a profound story about the power of President Trump and the policies that he is transforming in government itself. Yes, Americans wearing gold on Tuesdays, or commissioning Elon Musk to build Space Force One. Yes, you might be missing the point entirely. Okay, this isn't just about the orders themselves. It's about sending a message. And tonight, we're going to show you exactly what that message is. And as President Trump transforms America with bold executive orders, it's time to transform your health with bold action. Like these historic mandates reshaping our nation, our breakthrough formula is revolutionizing blood pressure management. Just as Trump's orders are making America healthier, our natural supplement helps regulate your body's vital systems. And while he's declaring national policies, you can declare independence from high blood pressure. This isn't change, it's transformation. Take charge of your health like Trump's taking charge of America. Visit boostwithgary.com for 40% off and free shipping. That's boostwithgary.com. Okay, are you ready for this? Let's go. New executive orders are on the table.
Okay, sir, this one says now that the retards are out of the White House, everyone can say retard again with pride.
Why don't we get that down so they can get them going right now?
This one says white people are now allowed to say the N-word once a month just to really get one out of the chamber. And it must be whispered with a black friend nearby.
That's a big one. We're opening up on one.
This is a good one, sir. Basically says if men have to put their height on the dating apps, women should have to put their weight. That's for quote-unquote equality. She wants to know if he can reach the top of the fridge. He should want to know if she's going to clean out the fridge. It's called the Rosie O'Donnell Fat Pig Act.
That's a big one.
Okay, this one says the LGBTQIA plus 2- umlaut community is now just going to be called the everything but straight people list. It's really just a time saver.
Well, we're going to try and get it done as quickly as possible.
China will now be called China America.
No, if China didn't approve it, we could put tariffs on China.
When we take over Greenland, it will now be called Red, White, and Blue Land.
Greenland is a wonderful place. We need it for international security.
This one says if you see a man wearing a COVID mask outside, you can have sex with his girlfriend because Lord knows him is not pleasing her any longer.
People have wanted to do this for years. What's this one?
This says we are bringing back the real gun emoji, getting rid of that weak Democrat woke water pistol bullshit.
We have to do what's right.
Oh, this one's interesting, sir. It says all the fat, bald feminists with 40 cats who hate men, they will now be put in the front lines during any war. They don't have family or kids, just cats, as I said, so let's put them to work.
And that's the equivalent, almost the equivalent of a tariff. And they're tough. They're very tough.
If somebody says you have to respect my pronouns, you are allowed to fart in their mouth, sir.
Stranger things have happened. The wind brings it down a lot.
This one says if a woman divorces you and takes half your stuff, she's required to have sex with you half the time. Fair is fair, sir.
If we create that value, why aren't we entitled to like half? Thank you very much, everybody.
All right, guys. Oh, yes, that was a promo for a new comedy special, but I decided to take it up a notch. The first week of Trump's second term already feels historic. From dancing kids to Space Force One, these satire executive orders prove one thing. When Trump leads, everything is bigger and bolder. Buckle up, friends. We have the actual fun times here. Okay. On his first day as the 47th president, Trump signed hundreds of executive orders. We found 10 that stand out as the most outrageous and iconic. These are bold, hilarious, and uniquely Trump, so let's break down the best of them. You are not ready for this. We got this is Executive Order 19954. All school children must perform the Trump Shuffle set to YMCA after the Pledge of Allegiance every morning. Trump says it will teach kids patriotism and superior rhythm. Critics are calling it absurd, but supporters say this is what greatness looks like. And then we've got this is Executive Order 24359. It declares March is National Fake News Awareness Month, requiring Americans to shout "you're fake" at their TVs whenever lies are detected. President Trump calls it the ultimate truth campaign. Cable news is reportedly bracing for a 400% increase in remote damage. There he is with the signed executive order. We've also got this one. Executive Order 32986 designates the Big Mac, this is huge, folks, as America's official meal. The slogan now, 2 all-beef patties, 1 great nation. Trump says it's an American icon like me. McDonald's is thrilled while vegans call it an outrage. Either way, fries are officially patriotic. There's the moment that he signed that executive order, everyone applauding. And then we have this one, Executive Order 89737. July has officially come declassification month, allowing citizens to vote on which classified documents to reveal. Trump says it's transparency for the people, by the people. The CIA reportedly held an emergency meeting, but Trump says that they will be just fine. And there he is with the executive order. Also, we have this Executive Order 17275 requires every American household to own at least one MAGA Christmas ornament by 2026. President Trump says it's the most tremendous tree accessory ever created. Supporters are calling it festive genius, while critics say it's holiday branding gone wild. President Trump clearly in that photo, he's excited for this new executive order. We've got this one, Executive Order 34437. Deportation flights will air live on pay-per-view as Trump's exit spectacular. Trump promises the best ratings ever as he provides live commentary. Opponents, of course, furious, but Trump says it's not just policy, it's entertainment, and it's tremendous. Those are his words, and there he is, very serious about this new special on pay-per-view. And then we have Executive Order 40111 launches Swamp Survivor, another reality show where lobbyists, D.C. lobbyists, will compete in challenges like escape the drain and resist bribes. Trump says it's draining the swamp one episode at a time. There's a rumor floating around. Some politicians are already practicing their lines. Look at President Trump. He's got a little smirk there signing that executive order. I believe he's pretty excited about that one. Also, Elon Musk, he's a big fan of President Trump. He's also working in the Doge department. Well, now Elon Musk has a new job. He's been tasked with designing Space Force One. You guys know about Air Force One. This is this is one of the SpaceX rockets. And now we're learning that it's going to actually have a new purpose, Space Force One. And this specific design will have gold interiors. It'll feature a Tesla autopilot and a Diet Coke fountain. Trump is calling it the greatest spaceship ever built for the greatest president ever elected. NASA is very jealous because, well, they don't get to waste the government money, and it's going directly to Elon Musk. So we're really excited about the Space Force One joining the fleet in Space Force. And then we have Executive Order 71650 establishing Tremendous Tuesdays. I'm excited for this. Requiring all Americans to wear gold and loudly proclaim we are winning, folks. Well, is today Tuesday? What's today? Today is actually Tuesday, so I decided that I would bring out the gold. I've got my gold necklace on already. I am ready for Tremendous Tuesdays. So you have to wear gold and loudly proclaim that we are winning. Folks, Trump says it's about morale, unity, and style. Gold chains, gold ties, and sneakers are reportedly flying off the shelves. So I am all ready. I've got my gold chains, and I am excited for this. This is just huge, folks. This is a big deal. Also, we have this Executive Order 48762 declaring Diet Coke the official beverage of the presidency. We talked about the official sandwich. The Big Mac is now the official sandwich, but now we have Diet Coke as the official beverage of the presidency. We don't have a comment yet from RFK Jr. We know how he feels about artificial sweeteners. He's not a big fan of it. He's already going after red dye number 5. Hopefully he does go after aspartame. I believe this might cause a problem in the presidency. There could be a constitutional crisis at hand if RFK decides to ban aspartame, which is one of the main ingredients of Diet Coke, which President Trump loves. So I think we're headed towards a constitutional crisis because of this Executive Order 48762 declaring Diet Coke the official beverage of the presidency. See, you can see it on your screen. Every federal office must stock unlimited supplies. Trump says it's the drink of champions, and no president has consumed more of it than me. Tremendous energy in every sip. Critics are calling it excessive. And of course, Robert F. Kennedy, I think this is going to bring them to a head. Hopefully, we're not going to have any problems, but I can see what's on the horizon. Also, we have this Yes, the first week of Trump's term already historic. From dancing kids to Space Force One, these satire executive orders prove one thing. When Trump leads, everything is bigger, bolder, and more entertaining. Thank you for reading. Okay, we do have some more actually here from these executive orders. Everyone's having fun with it, not just us. Here is hard drive Donald Trump. He has signed an executive order naming the Filet-O-Fish the national sandwich. I know my wife will be very happy. She loves the Filet-O-Fish. We also have this. Donald Trump signing an executive order that will effectively ban all Real Housewives shows. And I think that is certainly something that needs to take effect. Also, President Trump signing an executive order changing the name of the Washington Commanders back to the Washington Redskins. I think that the Native Americans who were offended by getting snubbed are going to celebrate this executive order. Also, the most important executive order yet, we're finding out it's okay to call people retarded again. Yes, that is now back on the table, no longer restricted. Also, Trump signing an executive order banning ketchup on hot dogs. And another one, President Trump signs an executive order stating that gays are not allowed to, quote, talk in that voice anymore. Violators will face up to 25 years in prison. Donald Trump not playing any games with that. And Sean Farash also stating here that President Trump signed an executive order officially restoring Pluto's planet status while also granting Chris Christie planet status. So that's good news for Chris Christie and the planet Pluto, who have it's been snubbed by the scientific community. So we're getting some real science back in the White House. Also, another executive order officially recognizing over as the proper way to hang toilet paper over the toilet paper hanger. So lots, I mean, you know, we covered most of these executive orders where, you know, like these are the ones that just kind of fell through the cracks. And I'm excited that we have the opportunity to present this to you. So there you have it. While the media obsesses over gold dress codes and Big Mac declarations, they're missing the revolutionary aspect of these orders. Trump isn't just governing, he's rewriting the rules of engagement. When he turns deportation into primetime entertainment or launches Swamp Survivor, he's doing something no president has ever done. He's making government transparent through entertainment. But here's what we should be asking. Is this brilliant strategy or beautiful chaos? If government can be both effective and entertaining, what does it say about decades of boring bureaucracy? Share your thoughts below about whether Trump's unconventional approach is exactly what America needs. Make Tuesdays tremendous with official MAG Avengers gear at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com. And of course, yes, these were all satire. Okay. All right. Putting the gold away. Not an executive order. I thought you guys might like that. That was fun. All right, we're at $133.17. Come on, guys. We got to get to $150. We're almost there. Like $20 away. Who's got a 20 spot for Daddy Franchi over here? I got kids to feed. Okay, let's check in with the big chat here and the feed. Okay, Mike Engelman, 2 hours ago, my top 10 list of people I want to see prosecuted on Trump 2.0. Pardon or no pardon is Adam Schiff, Nancy Pelosi, Letitia James, Jack Smith, Merrick Garland, Juan Rashawn, Christopher Wray, Eric Swalwell, Adam Kinzinger, and Liz Cheney. That's for starters. I can agree with that. After a week of the robust use of executive power to restore genuine public health, natural and normal patterns of life is the hallmark of this administration. We've got this. This is the reaction from... Okay, it's going off outside Tim Nichols' office right now. Trans community will not accept these disgraceful attacks. This is the crowd at 9:30 a.m. off the back of a tweet late last night. So the trans community is up in arms because President Trump has banned trans from the military. And there it is. KK dropping a 20 spot. Feed the kids, not McDonald's. Thank you, KK, for that. You've put us over the top. $150 in the super chat. Tonight, we are going to be doing the Trump dance. Trump's unprecedented bold move to drain the swamp and purge federal workforce, offering mass buyouts. This is huge. We covered this earlier in the show. Fox News making a point to talk about Carolyn Leavitt's historic first press conference. She didn't have a binder with her and yet was able to answer all of our questions on a range of topics.
One in these rows. Caroline Leavitt, the new White House press secretary, just did her first ever briefing from the podium, and a couple notable changes. She didn't have a binder with her, and yet was able to answer all of our questions on a range of topics. And she also called on everyone in these rows by name. So she really did her homework in terms of figuring out who it is that covers the White House, and they are also expanding that. These seats over here usually go to White House staffers. This administration is opening 2 of those seats to 2 newsletters, and they're also opening credentialing to anyone who reports on news regardless of the medium. So you could be a TikTok content creator or a person who puts their information out on Instagram and have an opportunity to get access to what they're calling the new media seat. It was very busy in here. The sides of the room were just packed with people. It actually took me a while to get to my seat in the front row. So I expect it's going to be busy for the next 4 years and even busier now that they're expanding who it is that can cover this White House.
That is awesome. James O'Keefe applying for White House press credentials. Let's see what happens. I'm sure James O'Keefe is going to be just fine. The Persistence also filed for their press credentials. Viral news, New York City just witnessed migrant gang members in front of a shelter doing a drug deal right in the open. Eric Doherty, an hour ago, Nicole Shanahan, worth over $1 billion, vows to fund challenges to any senator who votes against Robert F. Kennedy for HHS secretary. $1 billion. You're going to go ahead and vote against Robert F. Kennedy Jr.? There's $1 billion going to fight against you. Please know I'll be watching your votes very closely. I'll make it my personal mission that you lose your seats in the Senate.
Proven principle. Hey everyone, tomorrow is a pivotal moment in our nation's history. At 10 a.m. Eastern Time, RFK will sit in front of the Senate Finance Committee for his confirmation hearing to be our nation's next Secretary of Health and Human Services. I urge everyone to call their U.S. senators over the following days and demand they vote yes on Bobby's nomination. He is more than qualified. He's proven, principled, and prepared to lead. I'll share a list below of key senators. If they represent your state, they need to hear from you. If they don't, please call your own senator and ask them to vote yes. We need as many votes as we can get. So this hasn't been widely reported, but in 2020, I cut large checks to Chuck Schumer to help Democrats flip 2 Senate seats in Georgia from red to blue. The 2 candidates I helped elect, Senator Raphael Warnock and Senator John Ossoff, please know I will be watching your votes very closely. I will make it my personal mission that you lose your seats in the Senate if you vote against the future health of America's children. And more than that, I also want to say to Senators Mitch McConnell, Lindsey Graham, Lisa Murkowski, Susan Collins, Bill Cassidy, Tom Tillis, James Lankford, Cory Booker, John Fetterman, Bernie Sanders, and Catherine Cortez Masto, this is a bipartisan message, and it comes directly from me. While Bobby may be willing to play nice, I won't. If you vote against him, I will personally fund challengers to primary you in your next election, and I will enlist hundreds of thousands to join me. Big Pharma and Big Ag have exploited us for far too long. It ends now. You're either on the side of transparency and accountability, or you are standing in the way. The choice.
Buckle up. It's coming. Going to repost that. Let's see. History in the making. 3 hours ago, on January 28th, 2025, XB-1 officially broke the sound barrier, flying at Mach 1.122 at 35,290 feet over the Mojave Desert. They say that the Boom supersonic demonstrator jet ushered in a new era of supersonic flight. Okay, this is cool. I've always loved supersonic flight, and I would love to see supersonic flight returning to America's commercial airways. Let's see, NGO government grant tracking tool. Follow the grants connect NGOs to your tax dollars. Ever wonder which government grants fund nonprofits? Now you can, because I've cracked the code. Unlike other tools, only sift through nonprofit 990s, which don't show show government dollars. I've mined the USA spending database to create fuzzy matches between nonprofits and their linked government grants. Oh, wow. This is pretty cool. Look at this. Heads up, it's data heavy, but I made it as efficient as possible. Link below. All right, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bookmark that because I think that could be a useful tool to check in on later. Sarah Huckabee Sanders, 7 minutes ago, congratulating the new press secretary, Sarah Huckabee Sanders. She took a beating during that first administration. She says, congratulations to my friend Caroline Leavitt for a very strong first press briefing. Glad to see someone at the podium again that can not only answer a question, but will also do an amazing job championing President real Donald Trump's vision for our country. Oh, absolutely beautiful. Okay, people with medical conditions should use this awesome tool. Okay. Here is Selena Gomez crying, and she is now a meme. Yeah, she's going to regret putting that out. People who rise above their petty individual selves to work so well. Good night, everybody. Okay. I found a man to run against SFB, Senator James Lankford in Oklahoma, Ryan Walters. Okay, SpaceX and Apple partner brings Starlink connectivity to iPhones. That's new. Okay, what is this? Trying to take one moment of rest. Wake up, it's time to keep winning. Oh, Tim Walls says you did a Nazi salute, Elon Musk. Add him to your people to sue list. What is this? Did he really come out and say this?
I would let you know I think it is speaking up. It's thinking about your neighbors. It's writing and putting those members of Congress. Look, there is no spine amongst those folks, but this is real. This is, they're talking about defunding the police, things that they, puff their chests up and say they're good with, making the case. And I would let, to the voters, I'm with this too. Everybody's fatigued. Trust me, I get it. It was pure hell and the disappointment and the frustration. And I'm, soul searching. What could we have done to make the case? Because we knew this was coming. We knew that the implications, and they're throwing so much at us that we're fatigued. We spent 3 days, debating, having them trying to debate that President Musk gave a Nazi salute. Of course he did. But that is a distraction from what I think you said it. This is game on stuff right here. And I am worried with these federal employees because look, they're in a tough spot. That some of these folks, especially those that are doing good work around environmental concerns, around justice.
Well, guess what? They all have the opportunity now to just hit an email reply and say resign and get a nice fat paycheck and save us all a bunch of money. So don't cry for them, Tim Walls. We're not crying for you. Okay, what is going on here? Tapper, we've got that. A Lyft. This woman filed a lawsuit against Lyft after a driver refused her ride because she couldn't fit in the car. Yeah, this is from Drama Alert posting that. Put it in perspective, this woman is 500 pounds, weighs the same as a large female polar bear. Human beings are just simply not meant to be this fat. She's suing Lyft. $50 million in condoms for Gaza. Yeah, that's gone as well. Okay, that is a wrap, folks. We are out. So, ladies and gentlemen, what we've witnessed tonight isn't just news, it's history in the making. Day 9 of Trump's second term has proven to be nothing short of revolutionary, and let me tell you why that matters for every single American watching right now. We start with Trump's bold moves on the global stage, where he's got Denmark in full meltdown mode over Greenland. The European elites are panicking, and they should be. When Trump turns on California's water and exposes the absurdity of cow flatulence taxes, he's showing the world what real leadership looks like. Then we saw how Trump's administration is finally bringing order back to our borders. ICE agents are doing what we were told was impossible, enforcing our laws. The raids are working, the National Guard is deployed, and for the first time in years, illegal entry into our country has real consequences. And speaking of consequences, how about Caroline Leavitt? At just 27 years old, she's revolutionizing the role of press secretary. By opening the briefing room to independent journalists and actually answering questions, she's not just changing the game, she's creating an entirely new one. And the mainstream media is terrified, and they should be. And those mysterious drones that had New Jersey residents look into the skies in fear, well, now we know the truth. That's right, the Biden administration's cover-up has been exposed, and the questions we should all be asking are far more disturbing than any answer they've given us. And finally, those satirical executive orders, Tremendous Tuesdays, Space Force One, Big Macs to live deportation television. Oh, yes. It's just a funny look at the intensity of President Trump and the change that he is bringing to America. But none of this coverage would be possible without you, our loyal viewers. Your support keeps us going, keeps us independent, and keeps us telling the truth. And if you value what we do, there are 3 ways you can help continue this mission. First, visit our donation page. It is linked down below. Give, Send, Go, and PayPal. Every dollar helps us fight back against the mainstream media narratives. Second, you can show your support by becoming a channel member. We picked up 7 new members tonight, and the link is down in the description. You'll get exclusive perks and access to our team. Third, you can head to shop.nextnewsnetwork.com and grab your limited edition Mega Avengers gear. What are you waiting for? Show the world where you get your real news from. So to everyone who sent in our super chats and rumble rants tonight, $153.17. Thank you so much. We see you. We appreciate you. You are the reason we can keep bringing the truth to millions worldwide. Remember, share the stream with everyone you know who needs to hear the real story. The algorithm can't stop a text message. This is the Raw Feed. We'll be back tomorrow with more stories they don't want you to hear. Good night, America.